Hey, welcome back to another episode of Instant Ramen Podcast. I'm your host, Juan. As always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hey.
How you doing, bud?
Good. I am nice and relaxed. Got a weekend off.
Dog, you're sitting right there with no shoes on, just flip-flopping it about. You took your flip-flops off.
I got rid of the flops.
Whoa. You know, and you sound better. You've been sick for the last...
Oh, yeah, that's true. I have, yeah. Yeah, we good.
Yeah?
We good.
I'm glad you're good.
Yeah, man.
Me, I'm okay.
You're okay?
Dog, last Thursday was like one of the worst days of my academic careers ever.
What happened?
I've been in college for a while now, you know?
That's true, yeah.
And I've had some pretty shitty days, but like one of the shittiest days was like leaving college and like having my tire be flat and me not knowing how to change a tire. And I was like, cool, I guess I got to learn how to do this. So I did. And I was like, you know what? That's a bad day, but it worked out. Mm-hmm. And I've had other days where like I forgot to do a test or I didn't study for this. This last Thursday was the worst day of my academic career ever. We show up to class. We're doing this Maya project.
Right.
We're doing a dining scene. And I'd already last week, we have a month to do the project. And last week I lost the blocking, which is just essentially like the basic forms of things. And that was due Wednesday. And so I lost it. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. I won't post it because there's nothing to post. And I'll just lose the 10 points for the checkup. No big deal.
Okay.
So then I start working again, that Wednesday. And by next Wednesday, I have my scene made out and everything. My blocking's done. I've started doing some other modeling. I'm doing okay. I get checked off. Since I missed the week, I'm a week behind. And he goes like, you know what? I'm going to give you points for the checkup, but not full points. I'm going to give you like 6 or 7. I was like, that's fine. That's better than nothing,
Yeah, yeah.
And so that Wednesday I decided, you know what? I'm going to stay here late because the lab's open until 11 o'clock. And if I go home, because I was super tired, I was like, if I go home and go to sleep. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay here. I'm going to work. I skipped my drawing class because I usually after modeling, I have drawing. And I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to go to drawing. I'm going to stay here and just model straight. I modeled for 6 hours straight and Maya crashes. And I was like, fuck, Maya crashed. I had to close Maya and I had to restart my computer. And I was like not worried at all because I knew, don't worry, Juan, I've been saving periodically. So even though it crashed, I have a saved bit from like 10, 20 minutes ago.
Oh, man.
So I restart the computer, and as soon as I restarted the computer, I knew I fucked up because I did save my thing periodically to the desktop, and I didn't move the file from the desktop to my flash drive.
No.
So I lost 6 hours of work.
Fuck. Yeah, okay, because the thing with a lot of school computers is if it's on the desktop, it cleans everything up.
That's what it does, yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, that's horrible.
Dude, I lost those 6 hours of work, and there was like no one to complain to or like to tell, it was me because it was my fault. And I was sitting there doing my work while another class was going on because like if there's an empty computer you can work or whatever. Right. I was devastated. I was like, I wanted to cry so bad. I had to like fight back because I was already a week behind, and then I lost my 6 hours of work. Then I lost another week of work and then 6 hours on top of that. So I'm like choking back tears. I'm just starting from scratch. It's like keep doing it because I have a file saved, but it's from like my flash drive. It's old or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then I'm there around, it's like 10:30. I was like, cool. I've remodeled my chair for this specific scene. I re-UV'd it. I added the textures, did all that. I did it all. And then I started the bar scene, and I was done with the bar scene. It's like, cool. Let me see how it all looks together. I'm looking through my file, and I can't find my chairs because I deleted my chairs. I was like, again, devastated. But luckily, I did have a backup file there, so I saved them, and now I've just been slowly catching up with all the lost work I've had. And then on Tuesday, I did the same thing where I saved a blank scene on top of the file, so it deleted everything that I worked on for those 2 hours. Yeah. So it's been a really shit show for me, and every time I fuck up in a new way. And it's good to learn because I'm learning. Yeah. But I would rather not lose all the time I'm losing. So it's really been really stressed out. I've been doing that. Luckily, I'm trying to catch up slowly, and Pathfinder got canceled because Lander was sick. Yeah. So it gave me a chance to do some more work.
That's excellent.
It's a bummer. I would want to play Pathfinder, but I'm also super behind in this shit. So yeah, your boy's stressing, dog.
Yeah, I understand that.
Maya's killing me.
When I feel like this has happened to everyone. When you're younger, you're writing a paper or something, and the computer crashes, and you lose it because you didn't learn. Oh, you're supposed to save it like every 2 seconds. Yeah. And you learn that lesson pretty quickly where you're like, fuck, I can't do this. And maybe it happens once more where you lose more than you wanted to. Yeah. But then you just get used to that. But that's a completely different beast when you're at school. That's the thing. Like, I've been fucked over that same way. We've all been fucked over in very similar ways, where you're working on a project at school and all gets erased because it crashed and it was on the desktop or something weird like that. And it's a matter of like, you know what? This is only something that happens at school. And that's just like another thing that's like extra stressful. That's why a lot of people in graphic design and programming and whatever kind of computer medium, people will bring in their own laptops.
Yeah, they'll do that. Yeah,
which kind of sucks because like I'm a desktop user kind of guy. Yeah. So bringing in a laptop feels a little bit weird, but I've seen tons of people do it, and they are super secure in doing that
because they don't want to risk anything. And yeah, man, it sucks because like I totally agree. I have lost a whole paper before when I was younger because I wasn't taught that way. Yeah, I'm luckily. I mean, I did lose stuff. I lost 6 hours of work. I still had stuff there, and every time I lose stuff, I'm losing less, but I'm still losing it, which is what's upsetting. Yeah. And it's because it's my fault. It's my mistake, and that's what really pissed me off. And it wasn't like I was sad. I was more like just really frustrated with myself. I was like, I can't fucking believe I did this again, or I did this instead of that, and it's just like, dude, Juan, catch a break, dog. Just like do your work. So I keep saving in different files. I keep putting them in different places. It's madness. Anyways, Trip, before we get into what's good with you, I'm going to just let people know we're talking about the wrap up for this week's season of anime, right?
Fucking great call.
This season of anime we're doing, it's for the wrap up. So it's going to be a bomb ass episode where we tell you about all the shit and garbage that we saw and the stuff that we kind of liked or really liked.
Well, mostly we're just talking about the shows that we watched.
That we actually watched, because we didn't watch too many of them.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I tried to watch one that I didn't put on this list, but I couldn't fucking do it.
You couldn't do it, dog?
I just could not do it. So I didn't watch as many shows. And that's because I'm not going to compromise my own personal taste for the quality of another show.
Yeah, fuck this show, dog. Like, fuck Instagram podcast. I'm not watching shit for you if I don't like it. Like, you know,
well, I'm not going to watch a whole show. No, that's a whole different deal. That's not us.
No, because look, man, because next week we're doing the breakdown of the new animes.
Yes.
And for that episode, I watch everything.
Yeah, I've watched probably about 20 shows now. Everything. Probably more.
But for the wrap up, I'm just going to let you know of the things that I continue to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like so far, like little teaser for next week, I guess. I've watched almost everything. I have like 4 more shows to watch, and there are somewhere around like 5 to 7 shows that I'm pretty interested in. Okay. Yeah. And there are a couple more that are okay. They're not like something that I would seek out to watch, but they're pretty cozy.
Okay.
If that,
well, for me, I've only watched 2, and they're both been very disappointing. So, anyways, we'll talk more about what we think of this season's anime next week.
What you've been watching in anime this week?
Anime this week, I wrapped up all the stuff I was behind on because of this project thing. I had to skip anime night for a couple weeks. Yeah, and we were able to watch and wrap up all the stuff. And can't wait to talk about a few of them. I really liked a few of them. There's one I didn't like, but I still watched all of it. I'll let you know. You'll know. You'll know.
I know.
Yeah. So,
wait, actually, I think I know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you know. So, that's going on with that. I also watched. What did I watch? I'm going to watch tomorrow. I'm going to go watch Samurai Jack in the movie theaters.
Okay.
What they did is they compressed the entire like series into like a movie.
Wow.
And it's been like a special thing. And
is this the adult series or is it the kids?
This is the kids ones or whatever.
Nice, cool.
So which is cool. I like the adult series one. It was great. But I also want to watch. I've also wanted to rewatch the Samurai Jack thing.
Yeah. So now this will just make it easier.
Yeah. So me and my buddy have plans to go do that, and we're gonna check it out, which is cool. I caught an episode of Hunter x Hunter the other night. It was in English. It was like dubbed, which I didn't.
What were you watching it on?
It was on Adult Swim.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
actually, I guess it would be Toonami or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
But it was like I was flipping through and I was like, oh, cool, what's this? And it was like I was watching the wrap up of another show. I think it was some like Gundam show or something like that.
Sure.
And then I caught them and it was like, oh, Hunter x Hunter. And it was like a late episode, like season 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was in English. I was like, what? I didn't know this thing had a dub. Which would make things a lot fucking easier for me. Because I can totally watch it.
It's like a billion episodes long, and you just put it on the background.
If it's dubbed. So that's cool. It's good to know. The dub sounded fine, in my opinion.
Nice.
I mean, I don't know if you'd like it, because you watched all the sub.
I wouldn't watch it again,
you earned to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about all I've been watching anime-wise. Like I said, I've been really busy with this project, so...
Yeah, right on.
What you, homie?
Honestly, not a lot of anime this week.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of, like... what I've been watching, what I want to watch.
Yeah.
Now I'm watching all of the anime we're going to be talking about next week, which I have been having a fun time with it. I got Kyle in on it for a long time today, and I got him in on it earlier last week. And yeah, then I tried to watch a couple of shows that I thought maybe I would be talking about this week for today's episode, but it didn't really work out. Little piece of advice though. So next week we're going to have our new anime episode.
Yes.
And then I'm going to Disneyland, right?
Oh yeah, we're doing that. Oh yeah, we should talk about this. How's this going to work out, Trip?
We could record on Saturday. Or whenever. Literally anytime. I've watched like everything.
When are you leaving for Disneyland?
Sunday.
Okay, so we're not going to be able to play Pathfinder, are we?
We can play Pathfinder, yeah.
Okay, so record and...
It doesn't matter to me what day we do anything.
Okay.
I'm very available.
But I have to do it before Sunday.
Yeah.
Cool, okay. I'll pencil you in, dog.
Perfect.
Oh, fuck. We're going to do it on Friday because I have something to do on Saturday. Anyways, we'll figure it out.
We'll make it work.
This is an off-air conversation.
Anyways. So I'm going to be at Disneyland, and I'm kind of really super fucking bummed about this because I don't know if I'll be able to see it, but A Silent Voice is going to be in so many theaters. So go ahead and look it up online. There are a lot of theaters near you that you'll be able to see it. So you get to go watch that. It's going to be in Chico on the 23rd, I think.
And you're not going to be in town for that?
No, I'm not going to be in town, so I'm pretty fucking bummed.
It's on a Monday. You're not going to be back. How long is your Disneyland trip? By the way,
it's not going to be one day.
Trip's going to Disneyland for about a day.
I'm going to Disneyland for a few days, yeah.
Just for funsies, though?
Yeah, mostly. It's for Halloween time.
Oh, cool. Dude, I'm sure you're going to be able to find, if you really want to, you could find Silent Voice in LA.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be one in LA.
So you're watching LA?
That's like an hour and a half away.
Where are you? Disneyland?
Anaheim.
There's going to be one in Anaheim. Come on.
There's not.
Are you sure?
I've been looking.
You checked?
I'm looking, dude.
Bro, you checked hard?
What do you think I fucking do? I'm the one that does all the research for this fucking show.
There it is. There's the rub. Okay, here it is.
You trying to grill me on not doing enough shit?
Here's the issue. Trip doesn't think I care enough about the show. Well, guess what, Trip? I don't give a fuck about you in the show.
I know.
Oh, that's not true. I love you.
Yeah, I know.
Sierra and I were talking today, and we're just like, I had a partner who was she was my game development partner.
You have another partner?
She was a class assignment partner.
Whatever.
And Sierra was super upset because she was a girl, and I was like, it's just like I'm not even interested in her. Blah blah blah. She was walking by us today. We were having lunch, and I was like, oh, by the way, because she saw me, I said hi to her, and she said hi back. And I was like, oh, by the way, that's my partner for that class or whatever. And she's just like, oh, okay, why don't you just go talk to her or whatever. And I was just like, I could tell she was joking, but I was like, Sierra, I was like, first of all, she's tall. I don't like tall women. I mean, I'm taller than her, but she's still tall. I was like, I'm not a big fan of tall women. You know that. She's also, a white girl. I'm not a big fan of white girls. And then he's just like, Trip's a big white boy. I was just like, yeah,
big white girl. Thank you.
I was like, he's like, yeah, but Trip's a boy. It's completely different. And he's just like, okay, fine, whatever. So yeah, no, I definitely love you. No, dude, that sucks. I can't believe they were not going to have a show in Anaheim.
Yeah, no. So I'm trying to keep myself more optimistic about it, just in case, because when I was looking at the listings for the showing at Downtown Disney for all the different movies and whatnot, they had Tokyo Ghoul on there. And I'm like, why the fuck do they have Tokyo Ghoul and they don't have fucking A Silent Voice, which we all know is going to be phenomenal.
Walt Disney hates anime.
Walt Disney hates anime. That's why he
hates Jews
bought all
and hates
the
anime.
Studio Ghibli movies.
So he could burn them and cast them with horrible voice actors. That sucks. But you know what? Actually, I'm really optimistic, and I feel like, you know what? It's going to work out for you.
I really hope it does. Regardless, I'm going to figure out how to get a VPN. I could buy it on UK's Amazon Prime.
Whoa, look at you. Okay, so
if I wanted to watch it, I can watch it.
So next week is the preview for its anime, right? Next season anime. And the week after that is Silent Voice, what you're saying.
That's pretty much what I'm saying.
That's going to happen, dog.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
I'll find a way.
I will find it. Cool. Okay, cool. I'm glad I know what the next 2 weeks are for me.
Yeah.
Anyways, anime-wise, to say not too much. Hey, no, actually, before we get to this, so you were saying you were checking out, shows with Kyle.
Yeah.
So it looks like you guys talked about it, and you were like, you literally guys told me about it, and I was like, I don't care, do whatever you want. And then I totally forgot until just right now when you told me again what we were doing. So apparently Kyle's going to have his own segment on the show where
we don't really know how it's going to work out. We haven't talked about how it's going to work out at all. Like, but he's going to be both of us in a forum with him, or what it's going to be.
But from what I gather is like he is going to actively watch the worst show of the season and give us a review on it, whether that is at the end of the season or maybe every week. We don't know yet.
I think it's going to be at the end.
Which is fine with me.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Kyle's getting a little Kyle corner. We get to talk about the worst anime. He wants to do this. He wants to watch the worst one.
And the whole thing is, Kyle listened to all of our podcasts.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Work.
Hey, Kyle, how you doing? Kyle, I just like to say I never talk to... That's not true. I talk shit about you all the time. But Trip talks way more shit about you than I do.
Yeah, well, maybe you should stop making us go on these stupid fucking side quests,
you piece of shit.
So...
You killed my fucking sister, you asshole.
Anyhow, so Kyle and I have been watching all this new anime so that he could find the worst one to go ahead and talk about on our show.
Which is great.
So because he always got a kick out of when we watch all the new anime, we're like, oh my God, why is it so bad? Like, it's just so terrible sometimes.
Well, I always said this episode and the next episode are always my favorite because I get to talk mad shit about the shows that sucked this season, the shows that I liked.
Yeah.
And then the next one, I get to talk mad shit about the just entire season, everything. And I get so miserable because I have to watch so much crap.
Right, yeah.
Anyways, so Kyle's Corner is going to come eventually. We don't know when it is, but he's going to be part of it. He's going to have a little bit where he talks about a really bad show. So look out for that, guys. Besides that, you want to just get into news or anything else you want to talk about?
Not a whole lot that I want to talk about. I'm just going to jinx myself here really quick though. Okay. A lot of movement going on at work here.
Movement.
Pretty soon. Yeah. Some movement. So somebody no longer works at our company and she's worked here for a long time.
Can I guess who?
You can.
The racist chick?
No.
Ah, damn it. I was hoping she finally said something that really pushed it to the limit.
No, it's a whole different deal. And
anyways.
Plus the general manager wouldn't give a fuck. Anyways. So this position needs to be replaced. So somebody's going to move up there. There's going to be a lot of switching around. Essentially, what we're thinking is this guy is going to be getting a free apartment and a new job.
Bro, you getting a promo? You getting a little promo?
It's really, really sounding like it. And it's not just me that's saying it, speculating, but it's kind of several people saying hey man, if this all goes through, you are definitely going to be the one with the job.
Well, you know what? Congratulations. You're a hardworking guy. Yeah. You put in effort, and sometimes I know you hate doing the shit work, but you do it.
The thing is, the job isn't even fucking that hard or anything. Saying, yeah. It's just so many people are just bad at being a pleasant person and doing their job. That's the one thing that fucking blows my mind. I think I bitched about it on the show. I went over to another property and nobody did any work and they were like, I'm sorry, and got all defensive. And I'm like, no, I was trying to make a joke, but apparently you guys don't do work. Otherwise, why the fuck would you get defensive?
Yeah.
So I went ahead and did all their work for them. And anyways, I'm going to be there the next couple of days.
So how's that? If you do get the promo and you get a new apartment, what about your current apartment, dog?
Apparently my general manager is really good at getting people out of leases. I don't really understand how it happens, but that's
fucking loopholes. I like that.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing. But regardless, I figured, you know what? We can go ahead and sign this form, intent to vacate, where you just say I'm outie in 30 days. Mm-hmm. And then after that period of time, we still have to pay for it until they rent it to somebody else, right? Which is cool. Totally fine. Duplexes go quickly.
Especially because they're not, gonna be spending money on actual rent.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm whatever. Who gives a shit?
Where would you be living then, you think?
I'm going to be pretty much Leander's neighbor.
Oh, gross. I can't go there.
They're going to be remodeling the apartment.
Oh, so gross. There's cats. And I got to find a parking pass.
Not Leander. Well, okay, so it'll be fine. I'm a manager.
Leander's a manager. She doesn't help me out.
Leander would help you out.
Leander hates me.
What the
We talk about this all the time. Leander hates my guts.
You'll be fine.
All right.
You know what? Anybody with an instant ramen bumper sticker gets to park for free. How about that?
I got a shit ton of a car. I'm just going to start throwing them out.
Just put them on all these fucking druggies and vagrants.
Cool, man. Well, hey, if that works out, congratulations.
Yeah, man. I'm really hoping that it does. It sounds like it will.
I'm not going to help you move because you're not going to ask me because you're a decent human being.
Also, I'm not going to move. I'm going to let movers do that shit.
That's what I said. Because you're a decent human being. You're going to let professionals do it.
Yeah.
So because that's happening, I will gladly be at your house when it's time to eat.
Yes.
Nice.
Perfect.
Anyways, so that's good, man. Cool.
Cool. Now let's dive into the news.
Real news, not this fake news.
So, sad first piece of news.
What? I didn't even read the news yet. What's going on?
Grape-Kun passed away this week. I don't know if you remember a while ago when at the there was a zoo in Japan where they put all these kimono.
I did hear about that.
Yeah, all the cutouts. And then there was Grape-Kun, a penguin, who took the liking to the penguin character from this anime.
No.
Yeah, and that was the only one that they kept, and they just kept that there because Grape-Kun loved it so much. And he wound up dying this past week. So
how did he go? Was it drugs?
Regular penguin ways, mostly.
Like penguin on penguin violence.
Yeah, something like that.
Gang thing, some turf.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
It sucks. So I kind of want to cry. Sad day where Grape-Kun is dead, and they got rid of the cutout. They shipped it off to sea with him.
They should have left it there with him.
Well, I mean, with him, yeah, it's with him.
Oh yeah,
they're together.
Oh, that's that makes me so sad. Oh man. Okay. Come on,
it's pretty
quick question:
sad.
do you know if his name was Grape-Kun before or after, or like
before? I think.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. It's just because I don't know if the penguin character is named also something about like grape.
No, it's just some chick. I don't know.
Okay. Well then, hold on. Moment of silence
Grape-Kun,
for Grape-Kun. All right, Grape-Kun. Yeah, you will be missed.
It's pretty sad, but yeah, it was all over the place. Dude, fucking no, that's the only bummer. Damn, girl.
Oh man, I really do want to cry though. I've been super sensitive.
No, it was really sad. There was a lot of memes going around a few days ago about Grape-Kun and like a bunch of penguins together, and now people are just excited about penguins again.
I like penguins.
A big thing,
That's Sierra's favorite animal. It's funny. Speaking of me being sensitive, my mom told Sierra like, "Oh, you eat a lot," because she does. She has like a big appetite, or whatever.
Yeah,
and she's like, "Oh my god!" And my mom doesn't speak. When she's around, she doesn't like to speak English because she's like self-conscious of the way she sounds, and she's just like, "Tell her I didn't mean to." I'm like, my mom, like Sierra, does not care at all.
Yeah,
she takes super pride in the fact that she's a great eater,
dude. Yeah, Sierra's a fucking beast, and I'm jealous.
So I was like, Sierra explained it, and Sierra's like, "Oh, it's fine, don't worry about it." And then she's just like, mom was like, "Yeah, that's what I like about Sierra. She's not sensitive. She's tough, She's like, he's like, unlike you, Juan, you're super sensitive. You're a little bitch." And I was like, "Why would you say that?" Like my mom said that to me, and Sierra's just like, "Yeah, he is really sensitive." R.I.P. Grape-Kun.
You're sensitive, but you're like an asshole. So how's that work out?
I'm a sensitive asshole. It makes perfect sense. I can't do spicy food too good.
Okay, whatever.
I don't know why I'm an asshole. Why is that so funny? No, it's just like
you're just genuine confusion.
It would make.
I don't know why I'm an asshole.
No, I'm just saying it would make sense for me if I was a sensitive guy to be nicer to people.
But instead he was like, "What's up, fuckface?" And they're like, "Shut the hell!" Like they're just super mad at you. They can just go right down
why
to it.
Why would you say that to me?
Your shitty hair. Just like get a haircut, you freak. And you're just like, but I like my hair.
Why would you say that? Oh man, I guess I've become the thing I hate most in this world. That's not true. I mean, I am sensitive, but I can't take a joke. People make fun of me all the time, and I was like, "Man, fuck you. Your parents are divorced," and just like walk away. And they're like, "That was really mean." I was like, "Yeah, well, it's true."
Some people's parents are divorced, and sometimes they're into that shit, like I am.
Oh, you looked at me really creepy. Keep going. What's next on the news?
October 19th, Bones will have new information on Mob Psycho 100.
Oh, man. Total 360 right there, dude.
I know. Pretty big news. So I'm excited about that. We don't know what it's going to be yet. It could just be like, yeah, we like it. It's a pretty cool show. Right, guys? Or it could be like, yeah, season 2 and 3, they're going to be out tomorrow.
Dude, live action.
Live action Mob.
Oh, I don't know.
Would be so weird.
Pachinko game or whatever. That's what I want.
Exactly. That's the shit that they'll do. So we might get some great news October 19th about Mob Psycho 100. Next up, Bones is currently working on My Hero Academia, Bungo Stray Dogs Dead Apple, which is the movie, and Eureka 7 High Evolution, which is the trilogy of movies for Eureka 7
right.
that are coming out
we talked about that a while back. So
yeah.
Okay, cool.
So Bones is doing some big stuff, and I don't know how they announced all this shit, but it was really cool seeing it. You might want to look it up. Whoever wants to look up info,
do whatever you want. Yeah.
Anyways, Bones has several different I don't really know what to call them. Groups. I'm gonna say groups that work on different projects.
Oh, teams essentially.
Yeah. It's like Team A, Team B, Team C.
Yeah,
and they're working on all this shit. So Team A is doing I don't know, just some like regular ass bullshit. And then Team B is working on Mob, and Team C is working on My Hero, and like Team D is working on Bungo.
Getting jobs because they suck, you know what I'm saying?
Eureka 7. So lots of cool shit going on with that. Not a whole lot more news. The last piece of news that I have is Black Clover is going to be 51 episodes long.
Whoa.
That was the sound of it from this tweet that was sent out by somebody who was important. I don't remember who it was because I'm bad at everything that I do. But 51 episodes. So that's kind of interesting to me because
that's one season, 51 episodes? Or they're just
overall 51 episodes.
Okay.
So have you seen the first episode of Black Clover?
I told you I only watched 2 and they're really disappointing.
I just wasn't sure if you had forgotten.
Did you check it out?
Yeah, I watched the first episode of it. I don't want to go and say too much, but I got a very Naruto vibe.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Between the main characters, how they have this rivalry, and they like straight up say like, "You're my rival." Just
dude,
like
that's the anime way. That's how I live my life. You have to find yourself a rival. I swear to God, it'll do.
Who the fuck is your rival?
He's at my school. His name is Lucas. Hey, what's up, Mucus? You punk.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's in my drawing class. We're in the same major. We're the same age.
Yeah.
He's Asian and he's shorter than me. So, but he's really well dressed. Very well dressed. Anyways,
so he's like better than you, is what you're saying?
Well, the way it works is like when you draw.
Yeah, there's always one rival that's like always a little bit better, but then eventually you're gonna rise up. You're gonna underdog this shit.
Well, when we draw stuff, every now and then the teachers will like take pieces of our work and put it in like in the glass display outside. So last semester we had the same class, and I got my stuff up in the glass display twice.
Oh.
And he didn't get it at all. So I was like, that's 2 points to none, Lucas, you suck. And then we talked about it, and we're like, hey, will you be my rival and I'll be your rival, and then we'll compete and like we'll make each other better at art. And he's like, yeah. He was looking at me, he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then this semester, we've only had one piece go up in the glass display. He had his piece go up, mine didn't. So he's up 1. He just looks at me. He goes like, "Hey, dog." He goes 1-0, bro. I was like, "Fuck that guy."
Yeah, no, that's good shit to have. It's fun to have that competitiveness.
So Black Clover gives you Naruto rival vibes.
Yeah. So, anyways, because of that kind of like Naruto kind of feel to it, I was like, all right, so in the 7th season is when he's going to get his powers for the first time. And then the 15th season, he's finally going to be the apprentice to the Wizard King.
It's like the long con for this one, right?
Yeah. So that's what I was feeling. But 51 episodes, it makes it so much more easy to digest.
Yeah.
So that's exciting to me. It felt like such like an ongoing shonen kind of vibe.
Yeah. Well,
but I'm excited because of that.
You said you saw this posted somewhere, like someone said it, like
someone of importance announced it. Yeah.
Like, and they legit said like 51.
Yes, 51. Otherwise, like, why 51?
No, I was just curious. Like, it was like someone's like, hey, we're gonna have a bunch of episodes, maybe around like this, Or he like said, hey man, like, 51 episodes for sure.
Yeah, it said looks like there's gonna be 51 episodes of Black Clover. That was the tweet.
Nice.
And I'm like, weird phrasing, but 51 is specific, and like, all right, cool.
I just think that's cool that we have somebody go out there and actually like tell us how many of some.
I think that's awesome.
I would love to, but like, hey man, like, dude, My Hero Academia, you're looking at 200 episodes. Like, the fuck I am. Thank you.
You're like, yeah, finally.
Thank you. Make it 202. I don't care. I want a bunch of these. Cool, man. I guess I'm gonna watch Black Clover, and we'll talk about it next week. But that's good news. Mostly good news. A lot of good news here.
A lot of good news.
One really sad bit of news.
The saddest news I think we've ever had on our show.
That's not true. We've announced like people actually dying. Like,
yeah, but this is like
a penguin.
Penguins
they don't have
sentience,
dude. I don't think they don't.
Penguins should live forever.
No, they don't. They don't have thumbs. They're not of importance.
You don't know if they have thumbs or not.
They absolutely don't have thumbs.
You don't know what they're keeping in those wings.
It's a flap. Like,
okay, if they can't fly, then what are they for?
They're flaps to swim.
Fuck that. They have feet to swim.
Oh my god, you. Anyways, guys, this week's topics is 2017 Summer Wrap-Up Anime Expo, whatever, extravaganza. Anyway, this is like one of my favorite episodes to do because we get to talk about all the animes that we watched this season, that we continue to watch this season, and we don't have to worry about all those other bullshit animes at the very beginning that we dropped.
Right. I would just like to say I'm very surprised you didn't watch Suridure Children.
You know what's really funny? Sierra was telling me that she thinks I would really like that show.
Yeah.
She did a really good job of watching. Well, okay, I'm super busy with school or whatever, so it takes a lot of my time. But Sierra has been watching a lot more anime than I have, and she was telling me like all the stuff she watched. Like, oh, cool, that sounds great. But she was like really adamant that I would probably really, really like that show.
Yeah, no, because I'd seen the first episode and I was pretty into it. Like,
I watched the first episode.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. It was pretty good, but I don't know. I just haven't been wanting to watch something like that, and it has like specific vibes and whatnot. But I'm like, this is something that Juan would really enjoy, and like it's a great show. Everyone's really, really liked it.
Well, there's other shows. Okay, so real quick, just like a flashback to when we did the the preview of this season.
Yes,
I ended up picking more shows than you picked as to like what I was going to watch. I ended up dropping a lot of them. The shows that I wanted to watch was Knights and Magic, The Suriduri Children. What's it called? In a World with. It's the one about the interdimensional restaurant. You know what it's called?
Oh yeah. Oh fuck, I don't.
Kitchen
remember.
in a Different something or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Restaurant Another World.
Restaurant in Another World or something like that. Yeah. So that one and those three, and then like Angel's three piece, whatever.
You know what? I watched like an episode of that. I was good.
Anyway, so I was planning on like checking those out to continue to watch them. I wanted to watch 3Pete because I liked the character. He was just like depressed, and I was like, oh, I want to see where this goes. It did get a little like Lolita, like
it got a little bit risque, but not in like a super fun way.
Not in the fun risque.
Because like going over and watching all these new shows, I kind of realized that there's a certain element which makes me dislike that riskiness of it.
Yeah,
and it's when
really,
other characters feel uncomfortable about it, or when they're like super into it, that's when I start feeling weird. But like watching Keijo, I watched all of that, which is kind of a surprising thing for me to watch. And I think the reason
you're not
that
a huge fan of fan service, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just, I feel like it detracts from the show. But the whole point of the show is these girls are using their asses and their boobs to fight each other.
Yeah. And it's super absurd.
Yeah, exactly. And it's absurd. But the fact that like they're not ashamed because this is what they're fucking made for, and they're using it instead of other shows where it's just like lots of ass shots, lots of boob shots, lots of boob jiggle.
Like
and
imagine having that
weird.
Keijo show and then them adding a character who was always super embarrassed and super blushing, and like that would make it so obnoxious, because you're just like, well, then what are you doing in this career?
Yeah, exactly.
So I get what you're saying, but
or if they had like some kind of a creep who was just like constantly like ogling them, I would feel uncomfortable.
Like the creep from what's the show about the girls that go to school? He's the teacher.
Azumanga.
God, I love that creep. He's just like, I'm here for the swimming lessons.
Yeah, but that's done in like a funny, creepy way too. Yeah.
It's super great. Okay, so Angel's 3 piece or whatever. I only watched what I watched then. I was like, I never got around to it. I just wanted to see if it got any better. I didn't get around to it. The only one, it was a Restaurant in Another World, whatever. That one, it looked great, and I didn't look there was going to be any plot that really gets built. I mean, I could be wrong because maybe there is plot. I'll ask somebody, but it looked like it was just kind of like a slice of life or whatever kind of show where it's just like, hey, every episode he kind of cooks for people from a different dimension, and it looked really good because the food looked delicious. And then the one I'm upset I didn't get around to finishing was Knights and Magic, because I was told that, hey man, it gets a lot better or whatever. I was like, cool. I wish I would have made time for that.
Well,
but I dropped a lot of those, and I did dedicate myself to a handful of these, and one of them was Convenience Store Boyfriend.
Okay,
by Studio Pierrot.
Yeah.
They do Naruto. No one has heard of that one. Something called Yu Yu Hakusho. Never seen that one either.
No.
What else you got? Great Teacher Onizuka. What's that?
GTO is what a lot of people call it. It's a comedy show.
Okay, I think I've seen the GTO thing. Right?
Yeah. I figured you would be kind of familiar.
Everybody knows what
having an anime podcast.
Everybody knows what these things are. Yeah. Convenience Store Boyfriend. Boyfriends. So here's the thing. I love. We talked.
Yeah, absolutely.
I for some reason every time I say that, it reminds me of the time when I said you don't love, and you're like, fuck you, asshole. I love. like I fucking love. I mean, I like romance like stuff.
I don't even remember.
You don't remember that? That was on the podcast.
No, there's a lot of shit that I don't remember. Like Kyle texted me the other day, and he was just like, "Soggy blood," and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Soggy. Hey Kyle, soggy blood, am I right? Nudge.
But apparently, there was one time we were talking about donating blood, and I said, "Oh no, I can't donate. I have soggy blood." Like,
that was right. Yeah. And I was really adamant that I'm not sharing my blood because it's mine.
Exactly. So anyway, there is a lot of shit that I forget, and I'm like, all right, I am funny sometimes.
Yeah, no. Whenever I hear love, you're just like, dude, I fucking love. Like, don't like. Anyway, so I'm a fan of romance stuff. I'm a fan of high school scenes, like settings or whatever. And we know that like a lot of animes in high school settings.
You're gonna like one of these new shows. Yeah.
So I decided to check this one out. I still have the same like opinion on it when I had it. When I first watched it, the show doesn't look good. Like, it's not a pretty looking show.
It didn't look that great.
I mean, like physically, like the aesthetics of it is they're not like drawn well. It's poorly animated. No, it really is. It truly.
Hang on, let me just shit all over this show that I love.
No, I don't know. The thing is, I don't love this show. This is the show I didn't love.
Exactly. No, I know. But you start and you're like, dude, I fucking love, and check it out. This show's about love, man. No. You're like, fuck this show. This was never any good from the start.
it felt look, man. I'm not gonna say I didn't watch it because I watched all of it, and Sierra and I watched it together. It's like as a coupley thing. And she liked it. Yeah, it was so gross. She was like holding my hand. It was so gross. But it was like a romantic story about like a boy who's going to the new school or whatever, and he's in high school, not in school, he's in high school, and like he falls for this girl who he thinks is this girl that gave him a book when he was like younger.
Oh shit, but plot twist, she's actually the book.
Oh, dude, I almost for a second I thought you were gonna call the plot twist, because there is a huge plot twist that I'm gonna fucking ruin right here.
All right, let's go.
So here, check it out. So this guy thought that this girl was this girl that he met in kindergarten that gave him a book about the a mermaid, Little Mermaid boy.
Totally different girl.
And here we go. And so this is what like kind of drove, like he fell in love with her since then, and it drove him to like pursue swimming. So he became like an athlete being swimming. Yeah. And so he has to find like the nerve to, like, he meets her, and he actually, they went to elementary school and junior high together, but they never actually were together ever.
Right.
Like, so this time he starts makes the effort to try to get to know her, and he just wants to ask like, hey, are you so and so from kindergarten? Did you give me this book? Because like I think I'm in love with you, whatever. And he never ends up asking. Like, it's every episode just kind of gets pushed back every time. And it's super frustrating because like when it gets pushed back, or there'll be episodes that are dedicated to other characters and their stupid fucking romance. like one of the guys is like his best friend has a thing for like the class rep, and she's obviously beautiful, like she's good looking, whatever. But she has like frizzy hair, and like it's not very well kept because she's focusing on school. And so this fucking other dude's just like, hey, class rep, you're super cute. And she's like, why would you say that, you piece of shit? And like runs away. He's like, no, I really do think you. Anyways, they resolve their love thing. This guy finally has the balls to be like, hey, okay, man, are you this chick? And this bitch faints. She like passes out and hits the ground. He doesn't catch her, which makes me so mad. He's holding his drink, and like he watches her hit the ground. And I was like, dude, I was like in my head, like, dude, awesome ending to an anime, bitch died. Like, but it didn't happen. Turns out she has like a heart condition.
Dude, don't we all?
Yeah, and she's like super ill or whatever. And when he goes to the hospital, his mom's there, like, thank you for calling the ambulance, thank you for being here with my daughter. And like they start talking, and then it turns out, here's the plot twist, guys. If you don't want this really shitty show to be ruined for you, turn away.
Oh my god, cousins?
No, what happened was that the girl that gave him the book wasn't this girl, but it was that girl's twin sister.
Okay.
Who passed away. He died in a car accident. So he was in love with this girl, but he was actually in love with her dead sister.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Did he still pursue this twin?
Did they bone? Dog, they bone, bro. Come on, give it up. Your hands in the air. Yeah. No, what happened? Okay, so what happened is like after he realized that like, this is like the twin or whatever, and the girl that gave me the book was his sister.
Yeah.
He has this moment where he's like a realization, like, you know what, like maybe I did fall in love with her sister or whatever originally.
Kids, yeah.
Yeah, but like when I grew up and when I saw her in school and stuff, like it was her that I was looking at or whatever. And when they finally became friends in high school or whatever, it was her who I was friends with. It was her who I fell for. So
right, yeah.
So he's there for her, and the last episode is like she goes off to do her surgery or whatever, and it's like, okay, and then like it's kind of like unspoken that they both like each other. I think that maybe they say it. Maybe she's like, don't say it. And he's like, I'm gonna say it.
Okay,
and it's just like boo. Or I don't know what he says, but then it's a cut, and then we just see two people walking.
Okay.
You see like legs, and they're like walking towards together, but we don't see who it is. So I take that bitch died at the table. Like she didn't make it off, and that he's just super depressed. And that's just two other characters. Sierra says they fucking, we're happily ever after, whatever. Point is, show's not that great.
Okay.
And I just watched it because it was something to watch, and it was kind of like cheesy. And there was parts where I was like, I liked yelling at the main character, like, stop being such a bitch, dude. Just
just go for it.
Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Pull the trigger, dog. One huge problem with the show: not enough convenience store. A lot of boyfriends, not enough convenience store. They also in the fucking preview or the intro song, they also preview like all the characters and all like the couple-y people who are going to be falling in love.
Okay, yeah. Before they're in love, or
well, it's like, like it'll be like the anime and like they're like doing sports stuff, and then like we'll see them pair off in the like the intro, and so we're like, oh, that guy's gonna fall for that girl, and this girl's gonna fall for that guy, or whatever. And they pair, I don't know, there's like 6 of them or whatever, 6 guys, 6 girls, and like only like 2 of them get together, and one of them is like, it's like they kind of resolve their romance. It's like, I love you, and she's like, I don't love you. That's it. And like, I'm like, why even bother having those other fucking characters if you're not going to do anything with them? Yeah. It was super odd. Like, I was like, there's a character who was like in the cooking club, the cooking association, because they didn't have the people for the club, and he was like, he was really good at cooking, and he was around maybe 3 episodes. I liked his design, and the girl that liked him was like obviously really into him, and she like nothing ever came of that. I was like, what a waste of just fucking time and space or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, not a good show. Don't watch it unless you want to watch something and I don't know, with your girlfriend and hold hands and be a loser. Anyways, yeah, that's the show. I wouldn't recommend it to you. I wouldn't recommend it to Kyle.
Okay.
It's not like good looking. It's fine.
Yeah. It looked like it was like real okay.
Oh man, it looked like the quality of it was like
it's just like very like moderate, like no feeling, not warm, not cold, nothing.
There was times where like I saw like a hand, like I see a hand, I was like, who the fuck draws a hand like that? Like it's just like this deformed thing, or like like she pulls something out of like her phone out of her purse. Is literally like hand like really jacked up, and it's like a quick down and back up, and then the things in her hand is like that's not how you pick up things.
Whatever, fuck it, man. Got a couple of questions.
Okay, let's hear them.
So, I don't know if you remember much from kindergarten.
Oh yeah,
but do you know give me a few examples of shit you remember from kindergarten interactions with other kids there?
From kindergarten?
Yeah, things that you actually remember.
Okay, things I remember from kindergarten. I remember going to kindergarten and having like a packed lunch, because like in kindergarten you're not there long enough to have like a hot meal or whatever.
Yeah.
So my mom, I would always insist that my mom would pack me cereal, and I always insisted that the cereal was pre-made because I didn't want to make it myself. So she would put it in like a Tupperware container, and she would put like cereal and the milk on top of it. And by the time I had to eat it, it was just like mush, And, and as a kid, like I was like, this is the fucking, because then I drank the chocolate milk, I think that was a real issue. I think what I wanted was the chocolate milk, because it was it's either Cocoa Puffs or chocolate Pebbles or whatever. So I wanted the chocolate milk effect of it, and I knew that if I mixed it there at school, it wasn't going to be chocolatey enough,
Right.
Anyway, so I remember doing that, and I remember a couple of twins. There's twin boys that were in my class, and they picked on me and they harassed me.
Dude, I would have too. You're a fucking freak.
Yeah, that's really nice of you, from eating my mushy cereal. That's one thing I remember from kindergarten. And the other thing I remember from kindergarten is missing my kindergarten graduation.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so there's in kindergarten, like you either have the morning classes or the afternoon classes, like, right? I was a part of I don't know, was it the morning class? It was the afternoon class, because that way my mom could my dad would be able to take us there, and then like my mom could pick us up after work. It just worked out that way. And it was like the last day of school, and it was a graduation. It's like, oh, I can't wait to go to my graduation. And I forgot, because like they combined the graduations together. They're supposed to having 2 different graduations for the morning class and the afternoon class. They just did one big one in the morning. And so I remember going to there, like my dad didn't have like a car either. He was like biking me like on his handlebars. This was a long time ago.
Okay, yeah.
We were really poor. So we get to school, and like I can vividly remember like walking into the class, and like it's like that scene where like like there was a party and there's a janitor sweeping up like all the confetti on the ground.
Oh,
that's
my
like
God.
That's my life. And I just remember like walking, like, what is it? And like, sorry, graduation, passed over. So I never got I remember going to the office like really upset, and my dad was there, and my dad was like, yeah, they'll send you your diploma or whatever in the mail. I never got it. Never got my kindergarten diploma. Never graduated from kindergarten.
I didn't even know that there were kindergarten diplomas.
Well, it's just like a piece of paper with your name on it and says like, congratulations, you went to kindergarten.
Yeah, I didn't know about that shit.
Anyways, those are probably the only 2 memories I remember from kindergarten. Why do you ask?
Well, I remember a couple of things too. I remember.
Were they as good as Serial and Missing Graduation?
I remember there was a kid named Alex who played violin, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's
Whoa,
amazing!"
At kindergarten?
Yeah,
That's 5 years old, dog.
Blew my mind. Right? Okay,
What?
so that's
was
one.
he good?
No.
Oh, okay.
I remember being like, "Why don't you just sing Mary Had a Little Lamb? Everyone could do that, idiot!" Like,
Fucking nerd, you trying to get into college?
and then I remember this girl, Neilani.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
what was her name?
Neilani.
Yeah, it was.
She kissed me on the cheek.
No fucking.
And I was like so confused. I don't remember which cheek, but I remember it was on top of the we had this
you
like
were on top.
This boat like playhouse.
The plastic playhouse?
No. It was like a big wooden one
Ugh.
that they made specifically
Where'd
for
you
like
go to
this
school?
kindergarten class. Hooker Oak.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know, just some like open structure shit. Anyways, I remember her doing that, and I like didn't know this girl at all, and I was like, she asked first, and I was like, okay.
Wait, hold on. She asked
if she could kiss me on the cheek, and I was like, okay. And she did it, and she giggled and ran away, and I was like, all right. I didn't know what just happened. I was like, who the fuck was that?
I just imagine like kindergarten Chris being like just a smaller version of you now, just like with the beard and glasses. Like, can I kiss you? You're like, I guess that's fine, or whatever. You know?
Why is my voice lower as a child?
I don't know.
If you want to kiss me, you have to earn it.
That's a good. Oh, I like that one.
Anyways, so I remember like those two things, and then for this kid to be like, "Oh, she gave me a book, and I'm in love with her," and like pursue that. I remember as a kid being like, "This fucker sucks at violin," and now I look back and I'm like, he's probably like a great violinist these days. If he kept up with that, like that's fucking awesome. And then that girl, I have no idea what fucking happened to her.
She's probably like super successful now, or a stripper, or dead.
I know that she's like, I think we went to high school together, but I didn't have Neilani.
That's not a very common name.
No, well, that's the fucking like. I don't know where she went. Like, whatever. Who cares?
I'm sure we could find her.
Probably.
We're gonna. That's the mission, guys. We're gonna find Tripp's first kiss. All right, guys, we're gonna leave. We'll be back in a few hours. Anyways,
so my point is, how fucking weird is it that he was like constantly pursuing that his whole life?
Okay, well, in my defense, in his defense, well, first of all, my defense. I've learned my lesson. First of all, I don't like cereal anymore. Cereal sucks. 2, I'm always still like the thing, so that's not changing. Anyways, in his defense, he actually got a book. Like he has a physical, like
he had a thing,
and he read it multiple times, or whatever. And like the story inspired him to learn how to swim and become a swimmer. And he kept on to it, you know. So like, I can imagine. You know, you and I not being super passionate over like that one kiss on the cheek or the violin thing or whatever.
Well, what I'm saying is I feel like kids don't have that kind of complex emotional.
He had a book, Doug.
Yeah, he had a book. But what I'm trying to say is like,
do you have a book?
No, I don't.
Do you even know what books look like?
No, I don't know what books look like. But yeah, anyways, fucking weird, convoluted idea, but it's romantic. It's
sweet.
like super fucking sweet and romantic.
The thing is, it doesn't need to make sense. All it has to do is have girls be like, "Aww."
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's just it's innocent too.
Absolutely.
I think that's what makes it so great. It's not like a gross love. It's like very pure kindergarten love.
Absolutely. It comes from like a sweet place, not from like a wow, she's hot. It's more like wow, she impacted my life somehow a lot, you know.
Second off, if Sierra was in love with your twin brother,
my dead twin brother,
but she didn't know that you had a dead twin brother, and she thought that you were your dead twin.
Yeah.
Would you, once you figured that part out, would you be like,
fuck this guy?
I don't know how comfortable I am dating you.
Okay, sorry.
If you were in love with my brother.
I guess I didn't justify that part really good. Okay, so there's a scene a few episodes, like maybe like 6 episodes in, where he kind of like they're in a what's the world? They're doing like the fucking fair thing, you know, that premise where like the school, you know, fair, they all have like so her thing was she was making a library and stuff. People come to the library and there was like nursery books, and so they're super late at night away at school or whatever. And he shows the book is there. He's like, oh, he goes, this book's really important to me. He's like, someone really important to me gave me this book once.
Yeah.
And then before he can like ask her if it was her, she feels ill and she leaves. So I think since then she started to like understand like, oh, she thinks I'm my sister,
Yeah, yeah.
and she's tried to stay away from him, but she always came back to him. I don't know, man. Like in how I would feel about it, I'd feel kind of weird about it. But,
I would definitely feel strange,
but the anime justifies it in some way.
You know what? If it was justified in some way or another,
it was justified.
Yeah, I might be okay with it, but I would honestly be like,
no, like it wasn't like
I don't know.
It wasn't like he woke up and said like, hey, guess what? I found out that you're not this twin I like, but I still love you.
Yeah.
She kind of already knew before that,
right?
That he had feelings for her.
We talked
for her
enough about this show that you don't like for long enough.
Let's keep going.
So I had watched Magical Circle Guruguru because you said that I might enjoy it, and I wound up liking it. Yeah, I wound up having a good time with it. It's still airing right now.
Cool.
It's going to continue on, which is cool. But it's made by Production IG, and they made Haikyuu, Psychopaths, Bunny Drop, just like a myriad of different things.
Yeah.
Production IG is dope. This show is a remake of a show from I think the 90s.
Yeah. Based off of like gaming franchise too. Like they have actual games for it.
I guess.
Yeah, there is. I saw it.
Cool. And it's essentially just a parody of RPG games. So the show, it starts out when we got the hero, and he doesn't know that he's a hero, and everyone's like, oh, you're the hero, whatever. And then he goes and like saves the magical girl, I guess.
She's a witch.
Yeah, the witch.
She's a wizard, a sorceress.
She's like there's the hero and then the chosen magic user lady.
They call them Gurugurus or whatever.
Yeah. Since she uses magical circles, and that's her whole thing. So, anyways, they wind up teaming up. The hero finds out that he is the hero and like, oh shit, no way. And she's like, I always knew you were the hero, meh. And then they just go on this adventure together, and it's fucking ridiculous. You know, they develop it so they're whether it's clothes or weapons, whatever it is, they have stats and they give them different abilities. And this girl is like learning all these different magic spells as she's going on. She used to be terrible at them, and now she's like learning. And then the hero just pretty much sucks for most of the show until he gets to a certain point where he realizes why he sucks. And it's because heroes tend to be like knights in some way or another, sword using, like going out protecting proud people. But the hero turns out to be a thief.
His skills his skill set aren't towards in the right direction. The way he's using his skill set.
So then he winds up getting this like little magic knife thing where he steals other people's powers. So if somebody shoots like a giant fireball at him, he could steal it, and he has a fire sword now.
Yeah, that's dope.
Kind of thing, which I was fucking awesome. Yeah. Like, what a cool concept for something. And then
Kyle.
Get on it, Kyle.
Get on it, Kyle. I want that.
And they wound up making it a gag where every time that they enter a room, since he's a thief now, he goes through everyone's shit and he like starts stealing all of it. But instead of it like showing him stealing what it is, it's just like popping up these text boxes of like, obtained this, obtained this, obtained this. It like goes through really quickly. Like, you gotta stop doing that. It's like, I can't help it now. This
is who I am. Yeah.
I thought that was a fucking great gag. But it's a really quick, fast-paced comedy show where they do have an ongoing kind of plot.
Sorta, yeah.
It's really thin, but it doesn't matter because it's just a comedy show. Yeah. So like, who cares too much?
And it is kind of feel like, that RPG status where it's like, hey, there's this new mission. It's like, okay, got a time to do this new mission or whatever.
Essentially, it's like, go take out the bad guy who's causing all the bad. Okay. And they're like, all right, cool. So we'll just progress through this, and then in each area, they're like, oh no, another big bad thing. And then they take care of that, and they keep going, and it all winds up being kind of interrelated. They have a lot of different characters in the show, which are all a ton of fun, or they'll like look at the weird characters and be like, the fuck is wrong with you? Most people look at the main character, Thief Boy, and they're just like, you piece of shit. Like,
what's his name? Nikkei?
Yeah.
It's like, it looks like Nike, but it's not pronounced that way.
Yeah, it's Nikkei. And they just like constantly look at him and they're like, well, whatever the fuck you're doing here. Yeah. Oh, also, the magical girl. She's doing great. She's wonderful. Yeah. She's going to save the town. He's like, I'm the hero, though. Yeah. And they're just like, I don't know. And then, like, some shit happens. They're like, oh, shit, you are the hero. We need the hero. The magical girl. You guys are going to save us. It's written in the prophecy. And it's just constantly nailing you with all these really funny jokes. But essentially what happens is they go through and they accomplish what they're supposed to accomplish. And then I watched the next episode because I wasn't sure how it worked exactly. Because I felt like, all right, well, that was the end of the season. Cool. But then there was another episode. And they're just kind of going like, the fuck do we do?
Yeah.
We did what we're supposed to do. What the fuck did we do? They're just standing around like,
Yeah.
I don't know. We kind of accomplished everything we set out to do. And it looks like it's going to be a fun time the second season.
It's still currently airing, right?
Yeah. It's airing.
like still running.
And they finished all their shit. It was really fun to watch. It was cool seeing them get powers, and it was fun seeing how the whole team interacts with each other and how they're kind of forming these different parties for different dungeons and finding out all this stuff. And one of the things that cracked me up most, I think, is that there are little prophecies. Like, you have to go and learn from, like, the master of fire, the master of air, the master, like, all that. And then they get to this castle, and one of the first rooms that they wind up going into is this chef, and they're like, yeah, we're trying to find this guy. And he's like, oh, that's me, but of food. Like, whatever. And he's like, I'm the Lord of Food. So then they're like, oh, okay. He's like, why don't you guys like come on in and I could teach you something? They're like, no, we have to go. But then like Nikkei, the main character, is there making food. And he's like, oh, okay, this is how you do it. And he's like suddenly like really into it. And I'm like, the fuck are you doing? Come on, man. He's like, oh shit, my bad. Like, this was just like fun to do. And then it turns out that he was actually the like master of fire, so he was training with his master.
Yeah. He was doing the right thing.
That's how he figures out how to like steal fire. He's like, I could do it now. Yeah, really fun show, really dorky, great outfit changes all throughout. Just the towns and the world that they've set up are so much fun. I would highly encourage anybody that likes RPG video game kind of shows,
absolutely,
or games or whatever, to watch this.
You'd appreciate the show more that way. Like if you have like this knowledge, you'll get the jokes or whatever. You're like,
exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
But realistically, it's a show that I think most people could watch as long as they're kind of like dorky and have a.
It's just like, you know, you just gotta be along for the ride, and then the jokes come in at you nonstop. Outfit changes. I like when they go to the desert and they just like they have this giant robe. She just like kind of stuffs her robe into like her pants or ties it off. It's like, God, it's so fucking hot. I like the show a lot. I'm glad you actually ended up watching it. I'm wondering, why didn't you watch it the first time? Is it just because like you missed it, or like they were just
I missed it?
You just like you didn't see it?
Yeah, no, I was really busy.
Yeah.
I guess at that time.
Yeah.
When everything was coming out, I don't remember with what. But then finally, once I got around to, watching the first episode, I was like, that was fun. I've got to keep watching this. And then I kept being busy. And then I'm like, finally, I have time to like catch up on shows. And yeah, I've just been having a lot more time lately.
I was like, yeah, dude, like you like video games? You're going to like the show. And you're like, fucking asshole, just because I like video games. Like, no, it's like Code Monkeys, but not crap. And you're like, piece of shit or whatever.
Yeah, no, it wound up being really good. And I think the thing that would detract most people is how fast paced this is, because it's incredibly quick, and it's a show where they bring back a lot of jokes, a lot of references from episodes before. So you do need to watch all of it. Mm-hmm. It's not something that you could just pop in and watch. No. You could try, but you would miss a lot of things. Yeah. So it is a good show to watch as a series. Cool. So highly recommend it to most people. All
right, next up, Welcome to the Ballroom by also Production IG.
Yeah.
They made Magical School Guruguru, Haikyuu, Psychopaths. So this is a show that was exclusively on Amazon Strike, which I was kind of, you know how I felt about having to grab Strike. I was like, come on, man, another thing.
Yeah, we all feel that way.
But I mean, I so far from what Strike's doing, I like what
they have some good shit.
I like what they're holding on to. Like I mean, obviously, like if Crunchyroll had it, I'd still like it.
Well, the thing that I hate so much about Amazon Strike is that I already have Amazon Prime.
Yeah, and on top of that,
you have to pay for Amazon Strike separately. Yeah, it's pretty lame. I wish that it was all just tied together, because that's the way that it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing about this is like this show or whatever, and other shows on Amazon Strike, they make me feel like, you know what, I am getting my money's worth, because I liked Welcome to the Ballroom. Welcome to the Ballroom is essentially a show about a boy who's leaving middle school, doesn't know what he wants to do with his life, and he happens to run across a dance studio, and this really tall, good-looking like dude's just like, hey, come in here and dance. He's just like, I don't want you. Like punches him in the gut. He's like, let's go. He's like, okay. And so he sees like what ballroom dance is, and he falls in love with it, because he's one of those guys that really had nothing to him. Like he wasn't athletic, he was kind of dorky, he wasn't smart, he was just kind of a nobody. And then he sees like dancing and is like, I could do this. Why not? And then we see that, it's not as easy as he thinks. It's not just like, oh, I just do a few steps. It's like, you want to be like a serious dancer, you got to take this seriously or whatever.
Yeah.
And we see it's really quick, actually, like really quickly get him on a dance floor. Within like the first 2 or 3 episodes, like he gets thrown in an actual competition to like dance for somebody else because the guy was injured, and so his teacher's like, here, put the suit on, go dance with this girl. If not, she'll lose.
Yeah.
And then that was the whole thing. And then we see him partner up with this girl who her brother drops her off. She's like, I don't want to dance with you anymore. I want to dance with a real serious partner. And this guy ends up dancing with the girl he wants to dance with. And so they make a pact, like the sister and him, like say, like, okay, look, we're going to challenge them. And if we beat them, they can no longer be partners. Because the sister just wants to dance with the brother and this guy just wants to dance with this girl or whatever.
Right, yeah.
So they dance and they lose because like they're not as good. He's been dancing for less than 6 months or whatever. But what he was able to do is he's able to make the girl like bloom essentially. He's so invisible. All people can focus on is how gorgeous she looks. Right. And so they lose the competition. They get last place. They get naked to the finals. They get seventh place. But the girl wins like the belle of the ball or whatever. Like essentially like a ribbon saying like, hey, you were the most beautiful woman out here. And that was just like, holy shit. And so that like the girl that he was like that won first place ends up being upset, but she understands, and that drives her forward to be like, I want to compete. I'm not going to lose ever again. The brother wants to dance with the sister again because like, you know what? I guess you are a wonderful dancer. I've been taking you for granted. And the kid's just back at square one. It's just like, I guess I got to find a new partner. So it's great. There's a lot of really like good characters in it. I really like the way they look. They make themselves like they're dancers, so they're tall and they're long and they have long necks and long arms, and they're kind of funny looking. But the way they contort their body, they're doing it to like represent what it is to dance the flamenco and the quick step and all this stuff, and they look really beautiful. Right. Even like their really outlandish eyelashes, like their eyelashes just look like caterpillars.
Pretty wild.
It's just like poof, like so much hair. Like no one's eyelashes has. Oh, I don't know. I can't say that, but like you and I, eyelashes, pretty normal.
Yeah.
These
regular.
eyelashes, like as hairy as a mustache. It's like a mustache on their eyelashes. They like to do a lot of like zooms and close-ups of people like whipping their head, and sweat beating off of them, and they're always smiling because they got to present themselves. And I don't know, man. This show I feel like is a lot of fun. I don't know if you like it or anything.
See, the reason I didn't wind up watching this is I remember looking at the animation and being like, this is clean, this is smooth, and the idea and the plot and the drive and everything. I was like, this could be a really entertaining, fun show to watch. Yeah. But the thing that detracted me is I didn't like the characters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I ended up liking the characters.
Yeah.
It's very Yuri on Ice-esque, like the way that they present the beauty of ballroom dance, or whatever, which is nice. And the main character, we later learned that he has a gift for like being able to shadow people. Like he looks at people and he's like, oh, okay, I kind of see what he's doing there, and he's able to like copy people, and that's why he's like good, because like there's always like the character like, why is the main character the main character? He's trash except for this one thing he's really good at.
Right. Yeah.
And there's a lot of good rivalries here. He has a rivalry against the boy that he took the place for dancing. He's like a really talented dancer who's one of my favorite characters. Has really like dead eyes. They almost look like toad eyes. Fucking anytime he shows up, I love him. He got injured. He has a rivalry against the girl that he likes. And then now we're in the new arc. So there's like, the first arc, we're starting the second arc because it's continuing. And in this arc, we're seeing him pair up with the girl that he met in his class who is also in high school or whatever. And she's kind of like, she's a hypocrite, I guess. She's like wishy-washy. She first thing she says there is like, oh, you like ballroom dance? He goes, how lame is that? But then he sees her at like a dance competition, and she's like, if you tell anybody about this at school, I'm going to kill you. And then they see each other in school, and she's like, oh, so how do you know so-and-so or whatever? And so it turns out,
she's like, I don't know her.
Yeah, no, no. The girl says like, how do you know this other girl, like the person that was dancing or whatever? And what ends up happening is we find out that she did do ballroom dance, but she's done with it because she was a leader, because like in ballroom dance, a lot of girls want to dance and guys don't. So girls will pair up, and one will lead, and the other one will follow or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And so she's trying to make the transition to being a follower. What is her role as being a girl in dance or whatever? But she's not used to it because she's only known how to lead. And so now it's this really cool mashup of this main character who doesn't really know how to lead anybody, and this other character who doesn't know how to be follow. So it's like this,
right.
And they're competing.
It difficult, but it makes it so they both learn.
They have to learn, yeah. And there's another rivalry that's been introduced in like between the girl and her ex-partner who is also dancing in the Japanese Grand Prix. I don't know, man. I really like the show. I think it looks gorgeous. It's I have a great time with this.
Nice, cool. Next up is you again.
Oh, okay. Let's see what I got.
You're going to talk about Boruto.
All right, Boruto, Studio Pierrot. They make a bunch of stuff. Naruto.
We already talked about it earlier.
Yeah, so we've talked about Boruto for a hot minute because I thought it was over, but it's actually continuing. We're starting the third arc, essentially. The first arc was kind of like this weird arc where the class rep was like a bad person, but actually a good person, blah, blah, blah. Second arc was about Sarada and finding Sasuke and learning who her real mother is. Spoiler, it's Sakura, fucking dumb bitch.
Oh.
Makes me so mad. But at that point, at that second arc, we started seeing episodes actually based off the manga. So I feel like the story really picked up and it actually actually really got into it. I really liked it a lot more. And now this third arc is going on and they're going to the land hidden in the mist or whatever, which is like another village, and they're having some issue there because they're trying to have like peace talks between them. They're all in a state of peace, but some people they don't want peace, they want war, and essentially right. And then Boruto is there as he's on a field trip or whatever, and he's kind of got in the middle of all of this. And we've got introduced to a new character who is a good guy, but he's being convinced by these other guys that joined like the seven swordsmen of the mist, who are like legendary swordsmen that get passed down through generations or whatever.
Yeah.
And they want war to happen. They want the pride of the Blood Mist village to come back. So
of course,
this arc isn't based off the manga, but I'm still liking it too. We've had 3 different fucking intros, 3 different outros. Yeah, show's fine. I don't think it's as good as Boruto. I mean, it's Naruto. I also was a different person when I watched Naruto for the first time. Didn't know what anime was.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like a lot of shows like that, especially with Naruto, it kind of shapes you into a little bit different. Like it's been around for such a long time, and you got to grow with this character.
Absolutely, yeah.
You watch it at a pivotal point in your life where you're like, this kid, he's kind of a piece of shit and he's not good at anything. And then you see him grow into the Hokage and you're like, fucking, I can grow into the Hokage. Like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I could be president
but
if I
then
wanted to.
This show's a little bit different too, where you're like, you don't have that character that's going to grow into something great. You have a character that's doing his own thing and he's figuring out what he wants to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is cool. But like I said, because of how fresh I was with the anime then and how seasoned I am now, it's like I have different takes on what I like for anime. For sure. I mean, of course, Naruto got me into that shonen type of anime, like that, fighting style, all about boys and stuff. But now I like animes that are more violent or sentimental or make me think or whatever.
All different kinds of things.
So now I'm at Boruto. I'm like, cool. This is just another shonen anime, and it's fine. They are changing things up a little bit where they're making the characters a little different, But I also see the mirrored images, they're trying to pull a Naruto here. The show's fine. And I do like it when they take this from the source material and they do it off the manga more. Yeah. And when they don't do that, it does feel like it's a little, not as well done.
Yeah, it's not as smooth. It's not as clean. It's not as, I guess, enticing because they have they can't do anything substantial when they're doing their own shit because they're they can't get in the way of what the manga has done. So it's kind of just filler.
Absolutely. Essentially, they've started off with making filler, doing the manga, and then going right back to doing filler because the manga is continuing. I think they're on chapter 15 or 17 or something like that.
They're not even started.
No, they're but they've started, but it's nothing has happened essentially.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. They've got nowhere to go, so the show doesn't have much excitement.
If this was 100 chapters in, I'd be like, cool, man, let's fucking start making this. But they're not, so they're making up time, and hopefully it doesn't bite them in the ass because a lot of people do complain about how much filler stuff is. Naruto should put in so much filler in that. Fucking One Piece, so much filler in that. And only those real fans that stuck around with it are willing to do this. So it's kind of hard to just be rest on their laurels and be like, you like Naruto so much, wait for all this filler for Boruto, but we promise it's going to be good someday.
It's hard with a show that's going on at the same time as manga is. Because, Trigun, I don't know if you knew this or not, but the manga was going on while the show was airing.
Right.
So
that's why there's
it didn't have much.
Right?
Yeah, there are a bunch of differences. Essentially, we get a couple of pieces that are from the manga, and we get the characters that are from the manga, but different things happen. It's a different plot overall. Same philosophical ideas, but different stuff goes on. So the first half of Trigun is just filler, complete filler. It's got pretty much nothing there other than you're getting to learn these characters. The rest of it takes up where Trigun the Maxim starts, which is the manga series. There's Trigun and then Trigun the Maxim.
Okay.
So it picks up at like that second half. And then we have like Hunter x Hunter, which is still ongoing. So the show just had to end.
Yeah.
So what do you think Boruto is going to do?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not too sure what they're going to do. I know that they want to stay on that train, that hype train, because Naruto made them a shit ton of money,
Right.
And they do have all the intentions to make Boruto last as long, if not longer than Naruto. They want to tell this huge story of this other person. So I don't know. But I mean, and this not having manga or source material has never deterred the people who make Naruto stop from making Naruto. They'll just make entire seasons of entire filler and be like, cool, man, here's an episode of what it would have been like if Sasuke's parents didn't die because they're all in this weird dreamscape world or whatever. Or like,
but do you like those episodes?
Not as much. I mean, they're fine. The animation's still clean or whatever. The stories are okay, but but because I read the manga, I know that there's no weighted stuff to it. Luckily, the only thing I do about Boruto is I know that this is filler because the manga isn't that far,
Right.
So I don't know. So when stories pop up, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that was going to happen because I physically can't know how it's happening because it hasn't been written. So that is good. I think these guys are just going to keep writing it till the wheels fall off. So they're probably just going to make, fucking 20, 30 chapters, do an arc in the manga and then be like, cool, we have another arc for you guys to create or whatever. Because it's really it's weird because because in the anime, they still haven't even gotten to the point where Boruto the movie is. Because like it goes like, this filler stuff, and then finally Boruto the movie, and then it should be what continues from Boruto the series or whatever.
Yes.
So they have a lot to do before they actually get to what the manga is. And if there isn't enough manga out, they can't get to where Boruto the movie is and proceed.
Yeah.
So he hasn't learned the Rasengan because that's what he learns at the movie or whatever. So like there's like all this stuff that they got to be really smart about when they decide to okay, cool, we're making that leap and going to the manga stuff because they can only write so much stuff in this period of him being in the academy.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Interesting. I think it's interesting to talk about. But like I said, no one knows, and I'm liking it. It's not like amazing. There are other shows that are way better than Boruto out there, without a fucking doubt. But I'm still happily watching Boruto.
Dude, right on. Cool. Next up, I'm going to talk about Princess Principal, made by Studio 3 Hertz, who made Flip Flappers, and Actas, who made Girls und Panzer. So, Princess Principal is the third endeavor that Studio 3 Hertz has ever really had. They've done Dimension W and Flip Flappers, and I loved Flip Flappers. So I was super excited about this movie coming out. Or show coming out, sorry. Essentially, it's about a small group of girls who are attending like a school,
like academy of some sort,
an academy. But they're also spies for the government.
Tell me more, Trip.
So they get involved with the princess of it's pretty much England. I think, but it also feels like it might be Germany.
What's kind of weird about the show is that it never really pins you down as to what time period it is. It's this weird different time period.
It's European.
It is European,
sure.
Absolutely. And you can tell it's European because of the style, the way people look, the conversations that they're having.
Yep.
But it's not specifically told where or what's going on or what time period it is.
And it's a steampunk era is essentially what we're talking about here.
Can't watch it, Leander. It's steampunk.
And they do a few things that are really, really good. They get the spy part fucking down. It's really interesting to see how they're communicating and how they're sneaking around and sleuthing like a spy would. But then it also does really good action sequences too. They have this little orb that allows them to float and go from one point to another really easily. So in some fights, they'll like use it to jump from one train to another train safely, or they'll use it to fall from the ceiling of a factory or whatever it is. But then they also, they have those sequences where they wind up having to take up a job so that they look like they're doing something else. So you get these interactions with these other characters and a lot of backstory on the main characters and kind of like their life before they became spies. And there's some interesting stuff. The biggest deal with it is there is the princess, and then there is a girl named Angie. Okay. And I'm going to spoil some stuff really quick here.
Oh, you know what? This is a wrap up. I feel like, let's spoil things because you know what? this is why you're here. Like,
Yeah.
we watched the whole season. We should be allowed to talk about it in its entirety. Go ahead.
I liked this show. It wasn't my favorite show. Just going to get that out of the way right now.
Yeah.
If you do want to skip over this part. So, Anjay and the princess switched places when they were kids.
Okay, so she's spoiler, dog. That's a biggie right there.
Yeah, it's pretty big. But
That means that the spy chick isn't really the spy chick is really,
Spy chick is a
really the
princess.
princess.
But they were really little kids. So there was a girl who lived out in the streets, and essentially we're seeing the wealthy against the poor. And she's abused. She doesn't know if she'll be able to eat every day and whatnot. And she winds up just exploring, and then she finds the princess. The princess was exploring, and they find each other and are like, hey, what's up? Like, you want to hang out? And they're hanging out, having a good time. But they have a secret friendship, and every once in a while they would switch outfits and change lives. Because the princess they looked alike when they were younger.
Okay.
A little bit more, so they would, trade clothes essentially.
So they pretend like, hey, you're the princess this time and I'm the pauper.
Yeah, pretty much. So she would go out into the town and kind of be like, this is what it's like. Like, this isn't the way that people should live. Like, I don't want to be a princess that lets people live this way. And then one day, war started breaking out.
Ooh.
So they were doing their switch and they took the princess back from, just the garden where she was playing.
What?
They took her. So the girl who lives outside
Is really the princess.
now. Yeah.
Is now,
at this
is now
point,
the yeah.
So she gets stuck outside and she has to do her own thing, and she winds up becoming a spy, and she's Anji, and that's why she says she's from the lizard planet, just becomes like a very strange person because she's the princess. So what she's trying to do is she's trying to make sure that everything that she wanted is going to be true, where the poor people don't have to worry anymore, and wealthy and poor, everybody becomes just as happy, and they're just not living in a complete fucking shanty town. Meanwhile, the same thing's going on with the princess. She wants all of this stuff, like the new princess or whatever. She wants all of this stuff to happen too.
Because she was poor.
Yeah, exactly. So they're still working on the same thing. But then in the second episode, we get to see, the princess getting involved with the spy hood and whatnot. And Anjay, the actual princess, this is where it gets confusing.
Yeah.
The last couple episodes, there's a lot of clothes changing and a lot of like convoluted, like, oh, the princess went that way, but it's not the princess.
Real princess?
But yeah, it gets like kind of confusing.
Okay, keep going.
So anyways, we get to see them interact with each other back when the princess first joined the spies. Like I'm just going to refer to Anjay as Anjay.
Yes,
I get the other girl is the princess.
Okay, so there's a princess and then Anji, who is the real princess, but she's a spy.
Perfect.
Now. Got it.
So Anji meets up with the princess and essentially says like, hey, I am your friend.
I know who you are, homie.
We chill.
Yeah.
So anyways, we go do some chill stuff. So then they start doing chill stuff together, and it turns on later. They get the command that they are no longer working with the princess.
Oh.
They have to kill the princess, right? This is where a lot of clothes changing and running away and shit gets fucking crazy. And it's the same goal. There are people that want the princess to stay alive because she has these wonderful ideals and they're going to help everybody out. But a lot of the wealthy, just more sinister people want the princess dead because they're keeping them from doing what they want to do to better their country in the ways that they want to, versus her trying to make it so everyone can be happy.
I understand. Yeah, the rich always want to hold on to being rich, and they don't want to stop being rich.
Yeah, it's just different ideals.
So how do you have that happen? You got to make sure the poor are always poor.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which I agree with. The rich should stay rich and the poor should stay poor. And then
you
one
agree
should
with
rule
this.
over them all.
Yes, we've all agreed that you're very crazy.
I am. No, yeah, so I'm keeping up with you. Keep going.
Yeah. So after all these chase sequences and whatnot, the princess winds up being the actual princess, and Anjay winds up actually being Anjay. After a lot of confusion, you still don't really know who it is, but they made it clear enough. So you're like, cool, good to go. And then the princess is trying to go through with this whole deal with these people, but at that, other people are trying to kill her, so there's like a lot of fighting going on. Meanwhile, the Japanese girl that was training with these spies for a while, and she was like helping them out, there was a deal between Japan and them, I guess. she has to go back home to the Nihon, and then eventually all this shit's going on.
Like, you just drop that, and you're like, like
like Japan, the Nihon. I don't know. That's one thing that I always get a kick out of whenever I'm like talking about Japan, and if somebody's from it or not in an anime. I'm like, I don't think that they're from the Nihon, which is like it's the homeland, Japan. Yeah.
I'm gonna start saying that, man.
I'm sorry, but are you from the Nihon? Because I think I know what I'm talking about.
I can't wait to go to the Nihon in December. I'm going to Mexico in December.
Oh shit! Okay, cool.
Yeah, go to the Nihon, dog.
So yeah, all of this confusing shit winds up happening, and then everything winds up being okay. Probably. I didn't really like the ending that much.
Was it kind of ambiguous?
Yeah, I mean, not. Yeah.
Well, just tell me. Just come on. Go ahead to me.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like, it was just so like lackluster. I didn't feel like satisfied with the ending, which is, the princess is alive. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a few questions.
And Angie ran away, and they're like bros. They're hanging out at the top of the castle.
I got a couple questions.
What's up?
Okay, so I will justify the fact that as kids maybe they look similar enough, and you switch clothes, no big deal, and then the war breaks out. The last thing you're gonna do is is this really look them over or whatever? You really
right.
So I justify that, but later, when they're adults or whatever, more mature, they don't look alike, do they?
No.
Okay, so they're different. Okay, so when she's like, what do you tell somebody to be like, hey, this person you've been protecting or grooming as your princess for the last, 10 years isn't really your princess. I'm your princess. Like, how did
That's not what happens.
Okay, so because you said they switch back and forth.
Yeah, but they both feel like they're in the right place. She's like, there's no way I could be a princess now. Okay. I grew up, I learned how to be a spy.
Okay, so when they're switching,
still perfect for this.
So that's what I'm saying. So I thought they switched back and they
did
acquired
a lot
their roles
of switching,
but not permanently. They switched back and they're still at the spy. Angie's still a spy or whatever.
Yeah,
and the princess
she's not a spy because the spies want her dead because she didn't kill.
So she's a runaway spy essentially.
Yeah, it became really convoluted at the end. So that's essentially where we ended.
This isn't based off a manga or anything. This is an original story.
Yeah.
So would you want a second season? Because it sounds like you liked the show, but
I felt
you
like
didn't love
ending.
it.
Well, the ending was rushed.
Yeah.
Was kind of my issue with it. I had so much fun all throughout. I thought it was great. I was ready for the next episode every week. Give me some more of this fucking shit. But then it didn't work out that way, to where it was okay, well, the end didn't really. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. It wasn't as. I don't know, because with Flip Flappers, I'm going to compare it.
Here we go to the most amazing show anime ever made.
The ending was really compelling. You wanted to see more. You got to learn a lot of backstory of the characters, and then finally, at the conclusion, you were super amped up. What the fuck is going to happen? There's so much shit going on, and it didn't disappoint. It had a lot of things happening, but then the last episode of this was a lot of chaos, and it was kind of interesting, but then it wound up just being we're good.
Okay, so
and I don't know, and I think that's kind of the nature with spy stories, is that anything that does happen with or without spies, it doesn't feel like anything happened because it's spies. All secret.
Because it's not supposed to be known that something happened. Because
right?
If it was known, then it's not. They did a bad job of it.
Yeah, exactly. So it just feels like everything's kind of the way that it was before.
It's like the Kingsman thing. Yeah. You see the Kingsman, the first one has a poster of news clippings of all the things that happened. He goes
right.
Yeah, that day when fucking Elton John choked on whatever, I saved the world, but no one fucking knows because they're not supposed to.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, another question. So you said 3 Hertz, which is a studio you're liking, right? They're new or whatever. So they've got Dimension W, Flip Flappers, and Princess Principal. That's the 3 things they got. Yep. Have you seen Dimension W?
I haven't yet.
Okay, so far as a score, as a box score essentially. Okay, so Flip Flappers, that's a point.
Yeah.
0.4. Now, would you say Princess Principal, they dropped the ball, or it's still...
No, they did a great job. It's just the ending disappointed me because it wasn't as bombastic as I wanted it to be.
So 2 for 2, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm still with the studio.
Okay.
If they put out something else, I'll be I expect a good thing from you. You did a good job, because the first episode of Princess Principal started out with a lot of chaos, and it was pretty hectic because we didn't know the characters. But they made us care about this one guy, and then they made it a sad story at the end. And I enjoyed it.
Fucking shot his face up.
They did, and it was pretty great how it happened.
Shot him dead.
I like that whole interaction, and then learning about the backstories. It was sweet. It was sad. You cared about these characters. You wanted to see them succeed in the ways that they did. The whole episode about the Japanese girl was, well, they had a couple, but the one where she was dealing with her. She was sent out to kill this assassin, essentially. So she was protecting the princess with the spies that were protecting the princess because she wanted to kill this assassin that had assassinated a lot of important people. And in their work together, that's how they became friends, essentially. But turns out this assassin was actually her dad.
Whoa.
Who is a professional assassin. And she's an assassin too, but she works for good people and he works for bad people.
Nice.
That's the difference, good and bad.
It's as easy as that. It's one or the other. There's no in between.
And that episode was fucking awesome because, it's steampunk. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of car chasing and some sneaking around that was really cool. The gun stuff was also pretty cool. The special device that they have is cool. But then this episode is swords and guns, and it works out in such a good way. Everything looked clean. It looked really great, and they just did a fantastic job. And then when you look at a show like Princess or Flip Flappers opposed to Princess Principal, where everything is more like magic, they also do a fantastic job with that kind of action. And I don't know, just being able to have that much diversity and what you can make look good and interesting and cool, and then still have a good character behind all of it.
Yeah.
They did a great job. So I'm down with the studio.
That's cool, man. I'm glad that you liked it. I remember I watched a bit of it. My problem was it just wasn't, I don't know, it didn't captivate me enough. And that just kind of happens. There's things that are for you and there's things that are for me. The same thing happened for Flip Floppers. I know you love it and I'm glad you really love it. People online love it. But for me, it was cool. It's kind of just a lot of stuff and it doesn't get me. But it's fun. And I'll gladly check out the next thing Studio 3 Hertz does out because if anything, I want these smaller studios to do great too.
Yeah, and they have, the thing behind all of it, you can't argue that their animation isn't great.
No, absolutely not.
Fantastic animation.
Yeah, their show looks fucking gorgeous. That's for sure one thing that you can't they know how to make things look pretty. And
it's the story that wasn't compelling.
Yeah, which
that's
is
kind
fine.
of the issue. Yeah,
and that's just for me. I guess that wasn't for me. That's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. Next up, is it mine?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So next up would be Classroom of the Elite by Lerche. They do Assassination Classroom, School Live, Magical Girl Raising Project.
Essentially, they do a lot of dark shit.
Yeah, they do a lot of dark stuff. Okay, so I remember when I first checked the show out, I was I wasn't exactly sure what it was going to be because the very first ending ended on kind of a cliffhanger note, kind of this feeling that, hey man, they're going to kill each other. And I was like, okay, Juan's on board because I love survival animes and I love a setting in a school. I love battle royale. Essentially, I was cool, they're making battle royale. And then this next episode starts. I was cool, all right, let's see him do it. Let's see him. And it's just you guys are playing for points, and you can do whatever you want, but you can't hurt each other. I was oh well, there goes all my fucking fun. Essentially, it's a show where there's this really nice school in Japan, and people get sent there, and if you're sent there, you're guaranteed to have the most amazing job out of school because they groom their students to be the elite of the elite or whatever. And people don't really know too much about it because it's run by the government, and we end up finding out that the reason that this school is has the reputation of having a really good graduation thing and really good record for fucking jobs afterwards is because the way they run their school is really different, where people acquire points for doing good things on tests, and these points give them money. They're essentially used as money, and with this money, you can buy whatever you want in school. Honestly, anything's up for grabs. And we later see at one point, there's a kid who's gonna get expelled kicked out of school, and one of the main characters who saved a lot of his money is able to spend a chunk of his points to give the kid one extra point just so he gets a passing grade on his test, so he can stay in school. Because if he fails the class, then the entire class gets punished, and they all get deducted points that they already don't have.
Yeah, and that's not fun.
No, it's not fun. So it's just kind of this show where our main character is kind of not listless. What's the right word? He has almost no. We can't ever tell what he's thinking or feeling. He's very emotionless.
Yeah.
But he's really smart, and he looks to always be doing the right thing. And we have other characters the girl that he's kind of aligned with. she was really into wanting to be class A. They're in class D, which is the shittiest class. And the reason she wants to be the best is because her brother's there and she wants to prove to her brother that she can be better than him or whatever. And, you know, it's just a bunch of stuff. And there's like a lot of characters who are just kind of there and don't really mean anything. And there's characters who are like super serious and understand that like the severity of what they're in, that like these classes are almost essentially like crime syndicates or like mob bosses. Like, you know, like I'm in charge of this gang. You do what I say because I give you the points and I'm in charge of these points. And, you know, people are buying and selling information about stuff. Like I said, somebody buys points at one point. And I was like, it's fine. Like the premise of the show isn't going the direction I thought it was going to go. You know, like I thought it was going to be like, cool, they're just going to beat each other up and people are going to die. It's not that at all. It's more like wheeling and dealing and figuring out ways on how to keep points and not lose points that you already don't have. It's super like in your, like it feels really, what's the word? You know, like, Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13.
Sure,
like there'll be scenes where it's like, how did that happen? He's like, well, let me break it down for you. And like they'll show like the flashbacks of
very heisty
feeling to it. Anyways, the latter half of the show, like the last parts of the episodes, we get sent to an island. I was like, okay, it's gonna happen. They're gonna kill each other. And they don't. Again, they don't.
Of course not.
Essentially, this time they're in charge of surviving there for a week, and they're given points. They're allotted points, and every time they buy something, points get deducted. And they have to, like, they have these key cards, and they're supposed to find like these designated campsites where like they're allowed to put their key card in and they'll lock it in for the day. So they get points for locking in every day. And one person in the class is dedicated as a captain. He has the key card. Also, if you can find out what other classes captains are at the end of the week, they're gonna write down like, who do you think the captain was, and if you get it right, you get more points. You get bonus points on top of that. But if you get it wrong, you get deducted more points.
So wouldn't you want everyone to know who the captain is?
What are you talking about? No. You have to name the captains of the other team, like the other classes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So class C doesn't know who's class B's, A's, and D's is, so they have to like somehow convolute and figure out like, let's go spy on them or let's go talk to them. And like there's like obvious options, like this big guy that's obviously calling the shots, he must be the boss. He goes like, but obviously he wouldn't be the boss because like we all know he'd be the boss, even though he's calling the shots. The key card holder, essentially, he's the captain, but he's only the captain at like face value, you know.
Right, he's the only one that has that, and they call him the captain.
The ability to lock in the points. But he doesn't have to be calling the shots. Anyways, the last arc, that last part of the story where they were on the island was really entertaining. And we saw like what other classes did to like destroy other classes, like infiltrate them, and like fire was started. People's like at one point somebody like stole like panties from like a girl's room and put it like in the boys' tent, and like, you know, to start issues because like if you could get people kicked out. It was this whole thing, and I really enjoyed the last part. The first part kind of boring. Anyways, at the very end, we find out that we get a heist.
The points
and how they break down. And in D class, who everybody thought was going to fucking lose ends up winning, and everybody else's class gets fucking can suck a butt or whatever. And we get this really cool scene where like our main character is talking to the main chick because he then told everybody like, oh, how did we win? No one knows. Like, and they're like, oh, the captain chick, that chick did it. And everybody's like, oh my god, you're the best. But the chick had she didn't do anything, you know, essentially. And the girl's like, okay, I'm going to talk to you. He's like, hey, thank you for telling me this, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't want to say it, but you know what? You and I are allies now. And then this guy has a really cool monologue where he's just like, hey, man, like in his head, he's like, you know what? It's like, I never considered you ever to be an ally. It's like, all that ever matters is that I win. Like, he's like this, we see the sinister part of him. He's like, oh, okay. So like super interested to see where that goes. This show is based off a what's it called, a
web series?
Yeah, kind of. No,
it's on the phone though, right?
Yeah. What it's like. I actually found it online somewhere where I could read it. It's pretty cool. I don't know if how successful it was, because if like it was good enough to get another season, which would suck for me because I liked it and I would gladly watch another one of this. And I want to see what the dealio of this guy is, because we do get flashbacks and he's like in some weird room where there's a bunch of other kids and they're being trained to do something, and slowly the number of kids get diminished, and like we don't exactly know who he is or what he was groomed for. He almost seems like he's not human. So yeah, that was Classroom Elite. I personally enjoyed it. It was kind of like a survival anime, sorta, but not like your atypical survival anime, which is like point, shoot, click, and kill or whatever. It was different, and I enjoyed it. I mean, one thing I didn't enjoy was the people there like were overly the top, like sexualized. Like everybody was too like guys looked like guys, but girls would look like fucking models essentially. Like they're like the biggest boobs in the world, the biggest butts, the most scantily clad thing ever. There wasn't a lot of fan service near the latter half, but in the beginning there was like a lot of fan service. Like, let's go to the pool scenes. Like, why do we have to do this at the pool? You know, like there's no point to be here. But by the end of it, that stuff quickly got like taken away. There were still like gorgeous looking like characters around with like big boobs and stuff, but it became less of that and more like hey, let's get involved with like the psychological aspect of how do we make these points and how do we survive.
Right. Yes.
So yeah, I like the show. I don't think it's for you, but I mean, I liked it.
Right on, man.
Cool. What's next?
We're going to talk a little bit about a show called My Hero Academia.
Boo. Worst show ever, right?
Yeah. Dude, totally.
I think that's what we should call this episode. Worst show ever, My Hero Academia. We'd get so many clicks. People like, what? These fucking assholes? No, this show fucking rocks.
Yeah, I think everybody likes it. It's made by Studio Bones, who did Mob Psycho 100, Eureka 7, Bungo Stray Dogs, all those that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I remember that.
Back from
in the
like,
past?
Way back when, like an hour and a half ago.
About that, yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, this show is fucking great. If you guys haven't seen the first season, I urge you to go and watch all of it. It's fantastic. I just posted a thing on Facebook because I've been watching through all the new shows, and I've been like, I was having a hard time finding shows that I enjoyed, but I wound up finding a lot. Pretty much I was just asking, hey, what are some like good shows of this season? And then one of my friends had commented My Hero Academia, and I'm like, man, but like for this season though, but My Hero is fantastic. You're not wrong, but
like no shit, dog.
This season.
Oh, about that real quick. So you posted something like, hey, what shows he was watching, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Sierra commented on that, right?
Yeah.
And then a huge stream of other people started commenting on Sierra's reply.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
So Sierra,
that was one of them.
Today at lunch, Sierra was just like, because she looked at her friends like, I'm so fucking sick of this. He goes like, all of Tripp's friends are idiots. They don't know how to reply to a comment because they're all on her feed. So she's just getting these things all the time. And she's just like, I can't take it anymore. She's like, do you think if I delete my comment, like their comments will be deleted? Is like, I don't know. I've never had to do that. Like,
who gives a shit?
Let me try. Like, and then they're all gone. And she's like, that feels really good.
Good. Yeah.
So anyways, all your comments are gone for that one. But
I don't give a shit.
But I know what you're saying. Like, yeah, this is for sure like one of the best shows of this season. Not this new season, of just this season. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fucking great. Not a lot to say about this because we've talked about it before, but My Hero Academia is about this kid who goes to school to learn how to be a hero. He finds out that he can have superpowers and he gets them, and then he eventually learns how to use them.
Yep.
In this season of My Hero Academia, and this was a 2-core season, so we had talked about it for like a second last time, and now that it's actually wrapped up, how do you feel about this season compared to season 1?
Oh man,
because season 1 was like, we're figuring out what the show is. There's a lot to it,
and then season 2 was just like, cool. Let's see all the pretty. I don't know, man. Like, I'm trying to. I think I like season 2 more.
I could easily say I like season 2 more.
I mean, season one's great. Like, it really gets you into it.
I was super stoked about it because it was so new and I wanted to find out what was going on. Season 2, we had we had 3 arcs started. We had like the sports festival. Yep. We had the hero killer episode. Yeah. And then we had this last half where it was just like kind of a combination of he's wrapping up the series, right? Because like the internships was kind of during the hero killer. There's so many good things that happened this season. Yeah, exactly. So the first one, that first arc, we got a bunch of different competitions. Mm-hmm. We had a race, and then we had this weird sash stealing thing.
What do they call that? Chariot races?
No, something like that. Chariots. And then we had just straight up fighting.
Fucking fisticuffs, dogs. Like, me versus you.
Fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then after that, it went straight to, hey, go and train with dudes who are going to teach you how to be who you are. Like, this is what the real hero business is.
Yeah, go do a little internship, dog. Go do an internship for a week.
And that is where we get to see a lot of characters kind of come into who they are and learn a little bit more about like what would make them strong and what makes them tick in the hero universe. Some people get good internships, other ones don't.
Well, I think some of them learn that like being a hero isn't always what it's like meant out to be. Like someone's like, why are we doing commercials? I thought we were heroes. Like, we are heroes, but we also need to get paid, And there's other heroes that's like, no, dude, we're like essentially beat cops, or essentially we pick up litter when there's like, nothing to do. Like, that's what a hero does. We just kind of do what's supposed to be done. So it was cool to see that aspect of it. And it's cool to also see that one episode where it's like, hey, this isn't based out of anything in the manga. This is our original. So it's essentially the first filler episode.
It was the Sue episode.
Yeah, and it was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah,
it was really cool seeing her do what she has to do and seeing the other heroes around her that are like teaching her. It was cool seeing how
useful
her
she is.
internal monologue is too, where she was like, wow, these people are like so great. I feel like I'm not even near as good as them. And then they're like, holy shit, you were
super
fucking great.
dope.
Yeah. And it was just a really fun episode. But overall, we got introduced to some new characters who are fucking awesome this season. We got to see way cooler fights. People are coming into their powers a lot more. We just get to see some really, really interesting things, learn a little bit more backstory behind all the characters, and have a great time.
Who do you think would be like your favorite like new characters introduced this season? Because we got a bunch of good ones. We got some good villains that were introduced. We got some good guys that were introduced. What would you say was your favorite new like character?
I really like the support girl.
Oh yeah, she's dope. We don't know her name, but she's got those.
She's gonna be around though. You could, like, they've made it very clear. She is amazing at what she does, and she is going to be here. And then there were a couple of points where they were like, "Oh my god, the girl from Class B did this." Yeah, and they're just learning.
Yeah,
like,
she's a girl with the crosshairs for eyes, which I really like. She since I've read the manga, I haven't finished it. I'm not all the way caught up, but I'm pretty far to where I kind of feel I know when their next season, how far it's going to get.
Right.
Like, for this last season 1, I instantly knew how far they were going to get. They're only going to get just up until like the sports festival. Right. And this next season, I was like, I wonder how far they're going to get. And then I guess they're only going to get just up as far enough as to like the we have to go on the camping trip, the summer camping thing, and that's
going to be the next.
That's the next arc, yeah. And then after that, there's that arc, and then some mad shit pops off there, and then we get another one where they're back at school, and then they actually start doing an even longer, more intensive internship where it's like not week wise, but it's like they have to be asked to join them from like. It's really good. Yeah.
So highlights about My Hero Academia. Yeah. We have amazing characters. Yeah. Very unique character designs too.
Awesome outro, dog.
Yeah, the outro is fucking great in season 2. Well, the third outro is great. Yeah. Whatever. And then we have just a fun story, fun characters, fun music, great animation. Like all things that shows need, this delivers on all those fronts.
Yeah, we're seeing like the other supporting characters like get their time to shine also.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Whether they had their own fights or like that last bit where they're fighting against the teachers, we get to see them do like like one of my favorite guys' character design is like character wise is like the Hawk dude, you know? I loved seeing him fight in the first one and the chariot race, and I loved like him seeing him fight in the second one where it's him and Sue teamed up.
Oh, I was so
super
into
fun,
that.
super awesome. My new favorite character for the season that they added was Gran Torino, like the guy that
you were saying that Gran Torino's fun. He's
super
good.
fun. I love how like old he is and how like he forgets about how serious he can get. Yeah, and I'm liking the fact that we're seeing Deku grow. You know, and I feel like that's super important with these type of animes. Like
definitely,
the main character needs to grow, get more strong because obviously they're going to be weak at the beginning, but they have to do something and be great.
Well, not only is he becoming more strong, he's becoming more confident because he knows how to control his power,
which I'm super liking. Yeah. And it's great because we know he's like, it's his monologue essentially of like him like, or he's narrating this the movie.
It takes it out like every time that he says like, and then I did this. It's like, whoa, wait, you? Oh, so we're seeing this is how I became the best hero of all time.
Yeah, we're seeing
like, all right, man.
We're seeing him like slowly grooming himself to become that guy that's narrating the story. Yeah, and I'm liking that, and I'm liking the fact that he's learning not to hurt himself. And he's only going to get better. It's a great show, hands down. Yeah, one of the greatest shows ever. I'm going to argue though, because we're eventually going to argue about what our favorite of the season was, and I'll let you know what my favorite of the season was.
All right, that's exactly what I was thinking. So next up, we're going to talk about a little show called Made in Abyss. Yep. This show, it kind of came out from nowhere.
Yeah, like had a fucking right field or left field or whatever field it is.
I remember looking at the next season of anime and being like, that show looks like it could be cool. Right? Let's check that out. But I didn't really have any idea. Yeah. This show was it was something else.
Who's it by?
It's by Kinema Citrus, and they did Tokyo Magnitude 8.0 and Barakamon.
Things I've never heard of.
Yeah, some shit that like whatever. Nobody knows. So this show starts out, you see this cutesy world. They're talking about adventures and spelunking and going down and having fun. And it quickly turns into, oh no, my friend has passed out. What the fuck? Oh shit, there's a giant monster and it's going to eat him. Mm-hmm. And then the monster gets shot in the face by a huge laser. And then we find out, oh man, there's a little robot boy, but now he's passed out. Why is everyone dying? And then we kind of get to learn a little bit more about the world and find out that there's this terrifying abyss that leads to hell, essentially.
Yeah.
And as you go down, shit gets more and more fucked up. And there was a big old monster that was way higher than it should have been. And that's why it was so, like, scary where they were.
Yeah.
The story starts out at this orphanage where there are a few kids and they're learning how to be these explorers. And they don't go too much into all the kids' details because really only a couple are important.
Of importance, yeah.
We get our main character who is a girl who has never really met her mom.
Yeah, but we soon found out that her mom is like the best spelunker of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
she's amazing.
Like we understand quickly why she has such a huge passion for the abyss is because, you know, it's like in the blood, you know, her mom is fucking killing out in the abyss and she just wants to, she wants to quickly get better and grow older so she can go down into the abyss. And she's a red whistle, which is essentially her rank as like what kind of spelunker is, which is like the lowest rank. And she wants to be a white whistle like her mom, which is like the best legendaries essentially. She's, so yeah, it's the story of her and then maybe a couple of her buddies and then they find this robot.
Yep. And with this robot, they're like, well, where the fuck did it come from? Like, it must come down from the abyss, but why is he so high up here? And he doesn't remember anything either. And they're like kind of figuring out what he is. And they're realizing that he's like surprisingly human. He has memories. He has emotions. He's got like a butthole and like a penis. He's got everything he needs to be a human. He has a belly button.
Does it feel pain though? Essentially, or like you know, that was cool.
Yeah.
He's less a robot, more of a like a cyborg essentially.
Yeah, very similar to a cyborg.
Yeah.
So, the main character girl, she wants to go see her mom, and she thinks that her mom is still alive, even though her whistle was sent up from the abyss, from like the very low layers of the abyss, which essentially means her mom is dead.
Yeah,
that's what we're led to believe.
Right,
but main character girl, she's not having any of that shit. She's like, nah, I know me and I know my mom, and like, come on, she's not gonna fucking die.
But also the reason like she's like so gung ho to go down is because like because obviously like she has a right to see her mom's stuff. You know? So she sees the whistle. And they show her some notes that they sent up, and they also show like a piece of parchment that says like, "I'll be waiting for you here in the abyss," you know, or in the darkest, or something at the bottom or whatever. So she's just like, she takes that as a note to her, like she's telling me, I'm waiting for you down here.
Meanwhile, I think she meant like it could have been that, but it also could have been like she's dying and I'll see you in hell.
I'll see, like
essentially,
you know, I'll see you in the afterlife or whatever's after this. But she's like, no, she's waiting for me. I gotta go. And with reluctantly, you know, against the will of most of her friends, or whatever, and against the will of us, like everybody, she convinces the robot, and the robot's like, yeah, I mean, I'm from the abyss, we can go together. And so they're gonna, because the robot wants to find out more about himself.
Exactly. And so this is a journey of exploration and finding oneself.
I mean, yeah, kind of, yeah. So they kind of make their way down into the abyss, and at first it's kind of easy because what's his name? Something with an R.
Riku?
Riku's the girl.
Yeah.
And what's the guy's name?
Fucking something else.
He's got
I'm like, it's so bad with the names right now. After watching like a billion different animes, I'm like, I don't know, every name's the same.
It's like he's got these arms that like they're detachable and they can hold on stuff, and they kind of like this like a long ass rope essentially. So going down in the abyss for a while is pretty easy, and then we slowly see them having to struggle a little more because first of all, Riku, you know, even though she's read a lot about the abyss and heard a lot about this, she hasn't been in the abyss, you know. So there's
this show is dark.
Yeah, so they're slowly making it through the levels, and as they slowly get through the levels, they just slowly get more fucked up and things get just more twisted. Which I fucking love about this show because
it's amazing.
I remember, I mean, you watched it like concurrently. I watched it all at once because I was like, you know what, I had to get to it. But you just kept every week you kept coming back to me like, yo, dog, it's more fucked up than last week. It's like, I'm like, it's, it can't be possible. And I like dark things. I also really like the fact that this show is dark and doesn't look like it's supposed to be dark.
Oh no, it looks very cutesy. Yeah. And the animation is fucking awesome. Yeah. It's amazing. It's not just like stylistic or whatever.
No.
Like objectively, it is amazing. Yeah. Seeing all of the abyss, all the details, the world building that they do is great. The outfits, the just fine details. Amazing animation, amazing detail, spectacular. Like every part of the show is spectacular.
So on top of all of that, it also got like a really kick-ass story that doesn't pull punches because they're in this world, even though the world looks gorgeous and everybody looks super cutesy. Even like adults kind of look cutesy,
Yeah.
Shit's fucked up. Like we
there's
like,
one character that we get to meet, and this is where we first learn about like how dark things are. And it turns out that she was friends with the main character's mom.
Yeah.
And there's something weird about her though. She seems like really off, and she's pretty like. It seems like she's up to no good. Like,
she seems evil. Yeah,
evil person. And then we find out a little bit more, and how she explains that like her mom's dead, and like goes over and like really fucks with this girl's head. And in doing that, the robot boy gets upset, and he's trying to defend, and like Ozen is the name of this like big powerful lady. She just fucking doesn't have any of that. She's like, no, fuck you, little boy. Like, you can't kill me.
Him,
yeah. And she's just like this huge fucking monster. Turns out she really does care for this girl and this robot and stuff. But she's just super hardcore. So she was kind of trying to push them to their limits to find out how much they can take.
Yeah.
Is essentially what it is.
Because she's been at the, lower in the abyss or whatever, the 5th level at least. And she knows it like, yo, dude, it's no joke down there. Like,
no, it's pretty fucked up.
It's not a cakewalk. Yeah. They're going to have a leg up because they got this dope ass robot helping them get down there, but like it's still not going to be easy, especially when she's a human and like humans get hurt. But super fucked up things happen to them. Like she gets injured a lot. They see dead bodies every now and then. Even before we even get to like the abyss, there's a scene where she gets in trouble because I don't know if she's sleeping in class or she's stealing a relic or something, but essentially or she's like awake when she's not supposed to, but essentially the headmistress of the orphanage ties her up and beats her. Like I don't remember if you remember seeing that. It's just like it's like we don't actually see, like, we just see like her being naked kind of, and there's like the silhouette of her like hanging somewhere. Like it's really fucked up.
It's a dark world.
Super dark world that doesn't pull any punches. And these kids that they're growing up in this crazy dark world, are used to it. They're used to like, the world's not like kind, and they know that, even going to the abyss, like going up. And I'm assuming it's because one part, the fact that you go super like low and then come back up isn't good for your health, like that pressure. There's one part, and there's maybe even some like other like mystical parts to it, but like the abyss has this curse where like, like you can only go so far without getting sick. And if you get to this point, like you start like throwing up blood and bleeding out your fucking everything, and there's all these creatures out there to kill you. And there's this bit where like she gets stung in the arm, and he has to like tie off her arm and get the poison out to go.
But in order to escape to safety, they do have to ascend really quickly. And so which makes that blood coming out of all of her orifices kind of thing happen.
It does. It's the curse of the abyss essentially.
Oh, it's gnarly.
And so it's really gross because like it's this cute, adorable character that's drawn so lovely, and then she's just bleeding out of everything, and then her hand swells up to like a fucking massive amount, and she's like, cut it off. And he's just like,
he has to break the bone and smash it with a rock, and then starts cutting.
He's about to cut. She goes, no. He's like, break the bone first and then cut it off. And he's just like, and I'm sitting there like, are you fucking kidding? Like, it's really like, I was just like, and like he breaks the bone, he breaks the shit out of her hand, and like then he starts like sawing at it like he's gonna cut it off, and she passes out from the pain, and he starts crying uncontrollably because like his friend is dead and he just wants to be alive. And then we get introduced to this other character, this bunny chick,
which has the like darkest backstory of everyone.
Can you clarify this for me? Is it a girl or a guy? Because I can't really tell.
It's a girl.
Is it a girl? Okay, because I know. What's it called? Mitty for sure was a girl, but the other one I was like, can't really tell. I was a kid,
Yeah.
But anyways, we meet this bunny character who is a hollow. Was what she called herself. Was what she was. And she like helps him out or whatever. But in my head, I was like, oh, well, this is lame. Like this is what I thought. This is what was running through my head when this happened. So one of the most fucked up things ever happened. I figured they're gonna just have to cut off the arm and call it good and solder it then fucking cauterize, that's the word, cauterize the fucking, that she doesn't bleed out. I thought that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
But they've essentially been this bunny, and this bunny's like, no, I can help you fix her or whatever. And I was like, oh man, that's so lame. It was like, there's like no stakes here, because like every time something bad happens, something good happens to kind of like balance it out. And then like they introduce this character who's just kind of like she's okay, she knows everything and everything's fine. And I was like, I know the show's coming to an end. Essentially, that's what I thought, because it's not, right. It's still running.
Yeah. It's
I was
still
like,
airing.
it's like it's coming to an end. I was like, so like why even bother showing this new fucking character? But little I know, within like 2 episodes, like they show this character and they have this horrible backstory about
and you're like, wow, this is one of the best characters. And
it was amazing how this character essentially was like lived in like garbage slums in like on a different, like from a different nation. And these fucking White Whistles guy, I don't remember his name, but he brings him over. He's like, hey, we'll give you a life. We'll send you to the abyss, because people love the abyss. People are, fucking want to go to it for some reason. People are drawn to it. And he has a book. She makes a friend named Mitty. She's never had a friend ever, and they become really close. And then we find out what they're doing. And essentially they're making tests where they're dropping people super low and then bringing them up super fast and seeing what happens. And they do that with Mitty and her, and Mitty's able to survive the pain and not die, which gives the other girl a chance to live, but transforms her to this horrible looking, like, I mean, she's cute, but like this furry.
No, she's not.
I think she's kind of cute. She's like a bunny thing.
The bunny
Yeah,
is.
the bunny thing. Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, she turns her into like this cute bunny thing or whatever, which is still a kind of a huge transformation. And Mitty gets turned into this nasty, horrible blob, and that's barely sentient. And they learn that like she can't die. Every time they try to kill it, because they're doing science like experiments on it, it just regenerates.
Yeah.
And
this felt like really fucked up Nazi kind of shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, like super fucked up like science experiments. Like what can we do if we move these ligaments over here? Kind of thing. And the really fucked up part is like when Mitty's like suffering and like trying not to die, so the other girl can live, or whatever. She's like, it's okay, I'm gonna withstand it. She's like mutating, and then she's just like, the last few words are like, or kill me. I was like, oh my god. So then they escape and they start living their life together. And this bunny chick essentially spends all her time, obviously taking care of Mitty, but also trying to figure out like, I'm trying to kill you, like, and everything she does just doesn't work. Yeah. Until we get the robot dude. When she asked the robot dude, "Hey, will you please kill Mitty for me?" I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "What a monster!" Right?
Yeah.
And then
but then you see the backstory.
And you see the backstory, and it's like, "Oh my god, that's the saddest thing I've ever seen."
Yeah.
And then when the scene is like they're setting her up to like,
I was crying, man. Dude, I could not keep it together at all.
I was like, you can do this for him. Like, I was like, like they're setting her up like Mitty in this beautiful grass, and like have all her toys that she's made for her for years, and like she's just like chewing on a doll or whatever, and it's like he's like, okay, go do it, blah blah blah. And he stops him, like when she stopped him from like doing the blast, and she like go hugs him, he's like, oh my god, that's what really got. I was like, yeah. Oh. And then like she turns around and kills Mitty. Oh my! It was a mercy kill. It was like it was like one of the saddest things. Like when you have to put down a dog or whatever. It's like essentially
it's sadder than that.
It was like sadder than that. Like it's like
it was sad.
It was and then I learned so much about this character, and like we see like all the tombstones that she it's even then, even when she's doing good things, it's still super dark. Like it's still a super dark show. And from what we thought the ending was that they're gonna band together, because eventually the girl rehabilitates her hand slowly.
She's like, she wakes up and they're like, oh fuck, she's alive. This is great. Like things are looking up right now. After you just dealt with this whole like torture and experiment story arc, you're just like, all right, maybe there's some hope here. Yeah. Let's go for that.
And the bunny and the three, they agree like, we're gonna go down together. We're gonna use your help and go down, and that's what I thought the ending was. But apparently there's more, so the scene's not over.
God, I'm so fucking...
Which makes me happy as fuck. Because I'm going to say it, Made in Abyss is my favorite episode. Animated
without a doubt.
Oh my god.
Because My Hero, so much fun, so compelling. But Made in Abyss was just like... what the fuck? This is so good.
Yeah,
I'm really happy that you wound up watching this.
Oh, I'm glad I watched it. Like I remember liking it. Like I just hadn't had time for it. But I remember once I started rolling through it, like I said, I
just got better and better.
I was like, I'm gonna watch an episode and go to sleep, and I watched 6 of them. I was like, oh fuck me, it's 3 a.m.
Oh man, yeah.
But really, like it's one of those shows that I had no idea it was gonna be this great, and I'm so glad it was. Like it literally came out of nowhere. I was reading articles somewhere where somebody was making the argument that Made in the Abyss is taking it too far. Like it's too gruesome.
Fuck you.
And it's just like, and I was reading, I was like, you know what? Like, yeah, there's really fucked up shit in it, but like
it makes it feel more real.
Yeah, and at no point do they lie to you and be like, well, it's okay, it's gonna be fine. No, I mean, just because it's like this beautifully wrapped and cute little bunny, you know, doesn't mean this bunny doesn't fucking go kill people. You know, it's like it's a fucking beast of a show. It's super dark. It was really well written. Everything about it is gorgeous.
The thing about taking it too far, like maybe some things they didn't need to explain. But I honestly feel like it's more realistic when they do explain it. Like, you know, if they didn't say you have to break the bone first or whatever and just went for it, like that was great that they did that. Mm-hmm. And in that whole process, Riku had peed all over herself because how do you fucking not? Like through all of that shit. And she was wearing the same clothes, so they had to change the clothes and like clean her up. Yeah. So she didn't get like a horrible rash. Yeah. Which would have just made recovery even worse because her body has to fight that as well. So just those little elements that's like we didn't need that, but that made it like, yeah, that's even more fucked up. Like I'm glad that this show is treating it as if it's a real situation.
It's so real. Like, you know, even later on in, you know, when she's getting the spores removed, that the spores essentially cured her.
She's just screaming.
And she's screaming. They're holding her down, and she again, like, she wets herself because she's in so much pain. And it's just it's just very true. Like, and like, you know, they knew that like this was going to happen, that she's going to be in pain, and like they handle it very well. You know, even mature things, even more like. In the earlier episode, there's an episode where he's like, yeah, I examined your body. I wanted to see what you were all about. Looks like you got balls and a dick or whatever. You have a butt. I put a stick up there. I want to see how far it goes. You know, he's like, what? You know, but it never at one point was this like, it was never like a cheesy, like,
it didn't feel like it was a joke at all. It was just like, no, like I wanted to figure out like
what you are, what's the deal, you know?
But she's still a kid, so she's doing it in a childish way where you wouldn't put a stick, you wouldn't just jam something. It's like a little bit barbaric.
Yeah, but that's because she's a child. Yeah. But like even like later on when they're, you know, in that last episode that you saw, like they're swimming together, you know, and like she's helping him get undressed and he feels a little uncomfortable, like, which feels natural, you know? And then he's like in the pool and she's like, what's up with your penis? Yeah. Obviously he had like some sort of erection. Yeah. And like, but it's not like said. But as an adult, I'm just like, oh, I know what's going on here. And I totally feel for this kid. Like, that's really tough. Like, you don't know. You're a robot. You don't know, or you're an android. You don't know what anything is. You don't know who you were 10 minutes ago, right? Let alone like what your body is doing to you.
No, not at all. Yeah, it's like it's puberty in a completely different way. Where she like Riku doesn't know about this. She does. She's not
also
familiar.
Super. Yeah, she's a kid.
She's young. She doesn't really know much about how bodies work yet because she's so young. And she's just seeing this robot do this. So she doesn't realize this is a human thing. She's just like, what's going on down here? Like, is that some kind of like...
Are you okay? Like, do we help?
She has no idea. She thinks that it might be something that has to do with water. Like, has no idea. So she's genuinely asking a question.
She's concerned. Like, hey, what's this?
Yeah, you don't feel like it's her trying to make a joke or anything. Yeah. Like, it's her being genuine. But it's done in a way that kind of makes the audience laugh because they're like...
It's like it's a joke, but it's not like a, like, you know, like a really on-the-nose anime. Here's a joke about, like, sexy, like, you know, a sex jokes or whatever. Boom, you know, like that trope where it's just like, okay, and here he lands and he's gonna grab her boobs, and that's that part, you know?
Yeah, like, no, this is like
this. It did the thing. It provided us some humor, but it did it in the right way in the context of this show. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, man, I love the way this show handles everything.
It's probably great. Yeah,
probably hands down favorite anime of the season, and it's probably one of my favorite animes I've seen in a really long time.
It's absolutely spectacular. Yeah. This is a show I'd recommend to almost everybody. Mm-hmm. The only people I wouldn't are people that are a little bit more sensitive to these kinds of like darker themes. Yeah. I think it's fantastic. I think that this show deserves so much recognition. Yeah. I think this is an anime that people need to see. This is going to go on that list of like, what are some amazing animes?
They're going to be like, hey, what should I watch? This is going
to be one of the top ones.
You got to watch Erased. You got to watch fucking Trigun or whatever. You got to
watch Gate.
You got to watch Steins Gate. You got to watch Cowboy Bebop. You got to watch Made into Bits. Like these, that's going to it's going to be synonymous with that. Like I've been like praising Mob Psycho 100 when everybody's like, oh, what should I watch? I'm like, watch Mob Psycho 100.
Boom, this just shifted.
And now I'm just like, dude, like, hey man, I still think Mob Psycho 100 is like amazing. Yeah. But I'm like, hey man, you have to watch Made into Abyss. It's like, it's amazing.
If you don't enjoy Made in Abyss, you don't enjoy good things.
You just don't know what good anime is because that's one of the best animes ever. And no, I do understand you're not going to give it to people who like don't like darker themes, like because this isn't the show you're going to watch it. I'm going to be happy because it's not going to make you happy.
Because it makes me happy.
But shit's super sad. You know, like
exactly.
You know, it's for a weaker person, like this would kill. You know, this would kill them essentially.
Yeah. God, that last episode had me fucked up. Though.
Man, that was. But it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, honestly. And And like I said, yeah, there is blood and it's gory, but so I wouldn't recommend you showing this to a kid. Like this isn't the show for a kid. This is a show for like a mature teen, and adults, like not going to say 10-year-old kid, 11-year-old, 12, 13, no, 15, 16. Once you I think that's the right time to watch a show like this.
Sure, yeah.
So all in all, I guess that's it. So for me, Made in Abyss. For you, obviously Made in Abyss.
Yeah.
Best show of the season. A lot of good shows this season. There have been seasons in the past where we just hated everything and we watched nothing.
Kind of a bummer, but this next season, I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that next week.
I feel like we're optimistic every week, every time about.
Yeah, but this is a really promising.
Yeah.
Like, I know that there are going to be shows that I'm enjoying. It's not just like,
Well, I hope this Made in Abyss thing pans out.
Yeah. This is also a season of anime where there's not a sequel season to anything that I want to watch.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's good for you. I mean, there's continuations of stuff like that haven't ended that I want to keep watching.
Yeah. Well, like I'm going to continue watching Magical Circle Guruguru, but there's not like a premiere season.
For me, there is Blood Blockade Battlefront.
Yeah. Okay, for you, sure, yeah.
Have you seen the first one?
I watched parts of it. Yeah, I watched it, and then I told you to watch it.
Oh, right, yeah. I really like the show.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, that's the show. Next week, like we said, we're going to be doing the preview for the next season of anime. It's going to be a longer episode. This is always longer episodes. These 2 episodes are always our longer episodes.
Yep,
that's because
bulky boys.
we got a lot to talk about. But yeah, we're going to try to get through that. We're trying to watch a bunch of stuff, watch all that stuff, so you don't have to watch all the crap we watched.
We'll be able to do like 2 to 5 minute summations of each show.
Yeah. And then the really bad version, like, just don't watch this one. It's shit. Okay, so that's the show. If you like our logo, hit up Erin from TurboTops.com. She's really nice, great to work with. If you like our theme song, hit up Tom Nasser. He's our friend, Nasser, NASR. SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah.
It's anything. Look them up.
True.
Trip, where can we find us?
So before I tell people where they can find us, check it out. Tom's family, they were making some pumpkins last week.
Yeah.
Right?
Good story.
And Tom's mom decided to paint our logo on a pumpkin and give it to me. Yeah.
No shit.
So, yeah, that's pretty rad.
And why haven't I seen a picture of this?
Because you haven't come over yet. You can see it in person. But maybe somebody's working on Maya.
I would have came over on Saturday, but Leander got sick.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of a sad time. But
okay, well, I do want to see this pumpkin, though. That's
super rad, though. Really nice of her.
Yeah, tell when you see Tom's mom, or if you tell her thanks from me, too. That's really sweet of her. Yeah.
I will, for
Tom.
sure.
Oh, Tom comes from good peoples.
Yeah.
Anyways, where you can find us, Trip?
People can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. Same goes for Instagram. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. If you want to shoot us a tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast Infit.
And send us an email, instantramenpodcast@gmail.com. We also sometimes do some bloggy stuff.
Yeah.
Where we say, like, what
both
up?
of us.
You could go on to like blogspot.instantramepodcast.com.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
That's about right, yeah.
Okay, cool. And sometimes I stream things. You could go to Crispather, twitch.tv/Crispather. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just, it's all in the description below.
It's all gonna be there. Hey, so thanks again for listening to the show. Next week, hopefully we give you another good one. This is Bye from Juan.
I'll see you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water.
God, Made in Abyss though, right? Dude, who's your favorite character? Who's your favorite character? Go!
Probably the new girl, Nanachi?
The bunny chick?
Yeah.
I really
like her a lot.
Oh, I like her so much.
Yeah.
God, it made me so sad.
Yeah. It's good shit.
I'm gonna go cry.
Good.